Welcome to the Cross Realm Podcast, the entertainment podcast hosted by CRR Gaming Group members. Today is April 5th, 2018. You can reach the show by emailing crossrealmrebellion@gmail.com. You can tweet the show at crossrealmpod on Twitter. You can grab the RSS feed, get our show notes, and leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/crossrealmpodcast and apply to join us in-game at crossrealmrebellion.com. And tonight we will introduce our crew. I am Cricket.
Cricket!
That was Esmeralda Sky.
Hello!
We have Big Blue.
You're my boy Blue.
You're my boy Blue.
We got Wilektron.
Hey, hey.
And is Faux Render back?
Sure, my name is Faux Render. I'm putting on my tea. Alright then, we're moving on to main topic. Here we go. That's right, we got main topic. All right, Wilektron, you picked out a main topic for us.
All right, so, last week, if you were listening, I talked about how I had picked up the Kirby Star Allies game and was a bit disappointed, mainly not because of the game, but because of my expectations. But I thought, well, maybe it might be a good topic for people to talk about games that they were excited about before they played, but were disappointed once they actually got a chance to play it.
Well, remember, you have to lower expectations, increase happiness.
Increase your happiness, yes.
Yep. I'm learning this slowly. It's happening, though. I'm making progress.
It's a
That's
thing.
right. That's all that matters. That you try.
I'm ready. Let's go.
We're
Couldn't
in
start
main
without you,
topic,
Poe.
sir. I already talked for you, so you'll see how that worked out. Actually, Wilektron's just getting us started on his main topic. So you said you were.
Dope.
What made you disappointed in the game, though? Well, like what were your expectations, and how did they fall flat?
Mainly for me, and I don't want to rehash everything I said last week, but the upshot was I just kind of thought it was not going to be as easy as it was. Because in a way, it kind of almost plays, because you have like CPU allies that help you out and stuff, so not exactly, but almost plays itself kind of thing. However, that's just the main story. I do hear like the boss rush mode and a couple like time attack and stuff like that are a little more difficult. So
all right. Well, that's a bummer. And
Well,
those,
and I didn't
how
wanna-
much did that game run when you bought it?
Well, I have Amazon Prime, so it was $60 normally, but $47.99 because of the physical pre-order.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and as you said, it wasn't a bad game, just it wasn't the game that he was looking
Right.
for.
And
so what,
I was thinking,
what were you hoping that it
well,
would
I
be
mean,
more
I played
like?
the demo, so I had a little bit of understanding of what to expect, but playing it a little more, I thought it might get a little bit harder.
Right.
And it doesn't really, which is honestly fine, and I will probably still play through it because I was considering
What
for a
game?
while. Returning it or whatever and getting most of my money back, but I think I'll keep it around. Might need it for a rainy day or something.
What game?
Kirby.
What game?
The
Kirby?
Kirby Star Allies game, yeah.
I heard it was good.
Well, and again, it's a good game, and I don't honestly have anything against it. So
Now,
Well,
if you're racist against a video game character, is that racist? Because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like you just don't like Kirby's.
Oh, that is not what it sounds
He
like.
doesn't like pink flesh.
Exactly. You don't like
That's
fluffy
completely not what it sounds
Kirby-like things.
So you were no. So you were talking about
Jigglypuff. Do you like Jigglypuff, or no? That's too close to Kirby.
what the hell?
I think when I was a lot younger, I used to think Kirby was a Pokemon just because I didn't know anything about any of them. So, but
Well, they kind of had a Kirby.
oh god,
a Kirby-esque Pokemon. What was it? Dodo? Dido?
Ditto. It's
Yeah,
totally
that
Ditto.
one.
Oh goodness. So
Anyway.
I didn't look to see, did Yogi and them and CRR, did he get that yet? Or did anybody else get it on the
don't know.
Switch?
I have
I'm
not
curious.
gotten it yet. I probably will be getting it soon, just because my daughter has always liked those, and her and I usually play them together.
Oh, okay. Do you both have a Switch then, Cricket? You and your daughter, or no?
No, you usually just need one Switch.
And then
But
one
yeah,
can
for
play
that
on the
game you
console
can't
and
play
one
it
can on the
except
Switch?
for.
Well, most times with a lot of the games with the Switch, the thing that's great about it is so you have your main screen, and then if you're just playing it in mobile mode, there are basically two halves of the controller, because the controllers are essentially a stick and then like 2 or 3 buttons on them.
Oh, okay.
And when you're playing in a mobile mode, you take the 2 controllers and you hook it onto the left and right side. And so you essentially have like a normal type gamepad where you have a left stick and a right stick, and then I guess it's 4 buttons and like 4 buttons on each side.
Oh, all right.
But
Right,
if
or you could use them separately as like
but
two
if you-
separate controllers.
yeah, if you take them off, then there's actually another little part that you hook onto the top that gives you another button or 2, and then you
Ooh.
each have basically kind of like an old Nintendo controller, but with a couple more buttons. And so a lot of
Okay.
the games are played like that, and that's when you put the main console part onto your docking station and play it through your TV. So I'm pretty sure that's how it's played, because Kirby doesn't require all that many buttons. I mean, it's
Right.
usually it's jump and suck. I mean, that's pretty much the only buttons he has.
Actually, so and this is one of the reasons why I'll probably keep playing that game. I was surprised at how many different moves each of the different character types that you can pick up and grab have. Like every single one has a different move set.
Oh,
And
that's
you
cool.
can use it with, obviously with just the regular, the half Joy-Con essentially, or the single Joy-Con. Yeah, it's honestly pretty in-depth. It's just not necessarily you don't get an opportunity where you have to use all of that, except maybe for a couple puzzles.
Okay.
Now, can you use the amiibos with that game?
Maybe? I don't
Off to the internet.
know.
Kirby Star Allies.
Oh, he'll never get a Kirby amiibo.
Well, I just know that with
I have nothing against
Mario
the character
Odyssey,
either.
you can use the amiibos on that, and that was
I beg to
thought
differ.
that was pretty cool.
Well, let's see. I'm looking on here on Nintendo.com for the Amiibo section. It just says, looks like unlock 2 illustration pieces and additional items
Oh, okay.
for all of the Kirby pieces. Unlock an illustration piece, additional items for some of the other ones like Mario and some of the Animal Crossing stuff. And actually, it looks like most of all the other Amiibos will give you an illustration. And
Let me guess, you don't like marshmallows either.
I love marshmallows, man. Come on.
You struck
oh,
out there, Phil.
did you miss the Peep discussion earlier, Phil? I think
Yeah,
you
he
did.
did.
I saw the Oreo Peeps. What's up with that? I'm definitely trying those.
So I tried my first one a little bit ago, and like I said, the marshmallow doesn't taste so much like Peep marshmallow, but it tastes like purple horseshoes from Lucky Charms.
Ah.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's
No,
not a
Lucky
bad
Charms
thing
is
at all.
amazing.
So that's my opinion of what it tastes like.
Why can't they make like Lucky Charms just marshmallows? Like I just want to buy
and
that.
they
How about
did.
that too?
Yep.
Did they?
Yeah.
I want
You'll
it.
have to listen to. I think I'll have to put all of our conversation at the
I
end of the
want
show.
I
Well,
want it.
And
well,
we'll hear it.
I think
You'll
what
hear
you're
all
saying
that
is
stuff.
it's not like something that's put out by General Mills or anything.
Yeah,
I think that
yeah.
It's just at the
Oh,
bulk,
it's like a
at the
side
bulk,
company did it.
well, at the bulk store where
Yeah, I was
that she
talking.
knows of,
Yeah.
they sell just marshmallows.
Just the marshmallows. It's pretty.
Now, do
fantastic.
people like pick it out of their cereal and that's what you're buying? Like a bag of
I haven't
marshmallows? Someone like
figured that
fingered through the
part out
cereal?
yet. Yeah, I really haven't figured that part out yet, but I would. You might find a hair or two. That's what I'm guessing.
Have you ever like just eaten a box of that stuff? Well, not by yourself, obviously. And then just at the very bottom, there's no marshmallows. It's just those little puff
Yeah.
things.
'cause it's-
First of all,
yeah,
I have
yeah,
eaten a
shake
box
that
by
stuff up.
myself. Like that's not even that crazy.
It's like, don't you cereal shame me.
Let me tell you something. When I'm really
Ain't no
craving
shame in my game.
cereal, I don't use a bowl. I use like a Tupperware. And I pour myself
Dump
a
the whole damn
Tupperware
box in
filled
there.
with cereal,
You eat it with a ladle.
and I just eat
A
it.
ladle. A ladle.
I don't use a ladle. I'm not that crazy.
All right.
Well, to bring us back real quick to Kirby, that reminded me, I stopped off at GameStop the other day because I was walking by and I saw the big display for the Nintendo Labo stuff. And apparently it looks like the first 2 Labo pieces are coming out on the 20th of this month. The Robot Kit and the Variety Kit.
That's the cardboard thing, right?
Yeah, it's the stuff that you do.
I remember we were talking about that too.
Yeah.
That's like a blatant rip-off of the Google Cardboard or something like that.
Not really.
Well, the
It
Google
goes
Cardboard is more
lot
like
further
a
than
fake
that.
VR system. It's like an interface.
Well.
But yeah, so I saw the things that stopped. I'm like, when do they come out? And like, the 20th of this month. And they gave me the whole list of all the pre-orders. And you can pre-order and put money down. I'm like, okay, thank you. I'm not going to.
Awesome.
But yes, if I see anything else in here when I look through, then I'll let you know.
So, should we hand it over to Foe and see what game has let him down in the past? Yeah, I think we should, Foe. That's your...
I was about to say, that went awfully quiet real quick.
I
think it was your face game.
So, should we let Foe tell us what game let him down in the past?
Maybe you should.
All right, Foe, well, do it, man. Why are you making
All
us wait around?
It's that beautiful awkward
I was
silence.
extra duper hyped about one particular game. It was a couple of years ago. It wasn't something super recent, but a little game called Brink.
Barbie's Big Adventure.
Barbie's Big Adventure.
Hello Kitty.
I was so mad because I did not get the surfer bus with it. And I wanted my Barbie and Ken to have the surfer bus.
Oh, goodness.
No, so it was called Brink. So Brink was a game that they hyped to no. I mean, the campaign for this game and the advertising was out of control. It was everywhere. There were posters everywhere. There were posters on buses. They were talking about it on TV, on every talk show for like video games. Like they were hyping this game up, and it was supposed to be like a parkour, first person like arena shooter, and it looked really cool. It looked awesome. You were supposed to get all these super cool upgrades for your dudes and everything. And I rushed out, pre-ordered it, pre-purchased it. I got the little poster. I got like a little keychain. And then I brought it home. I put it in. And for like an hour, I had a good time. But after that, it was kind of just booty. The game it was just bad.
I'm looking at the pictures here on Steam, and this one dude totally looks like Lucio from Overwatch.
This is
that was years ago, so Lucio looks like that.
2011.
I know, but...
Yeah, I just found it on Steam. I went to put a link in for you, Foe, and it took me right to Steam, so it's free to play now.
Oh,
is it
free to play?
They can't even give that game away now. Like people
Yeah,
want
they're
like,
like,
it's free to play. Nah, I'm good. They're like, nah,
you
I'm alright.
decide the combat role you want to assume in the world of Brink as you fight to save yourself and mankind's last refuge. Yeah, it says May 9th of 2011. Yeah, you're right. That was quite a while ago.
It was.
It's mixed reviews. So.
Publisher is Bethesda. Isn't that the one?
Bethesda.
Bethesda. Yeah, it's a Bethesda game.
Bethesda. I'm totally sorry. I know what I was saying.
So,
I think I actually said a town in the Bible instead of...
Yeah, I think
I mean,
you came close.
So then, that's surprising. I can see then why there's so much hype. Because Bethesda has a couple small games under its belt, like Elder Scrolls. Like Elder Scrolls,
Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Exactly.
Quality under their belt.
Yes. I was doing the faux sarcasm.
And that's what it was supposed to be. It was like a super hyped game. Bethesda was putting it out. You were expecting this like super awesome, crazy good game.
So what about it fell flat like for you?
It
said it was good for an hour and then...
That's what it was. Like the maps at the time were like not that great. They were kind of small. The whole premise of the game was you could pick a small class, which was like a skinnier dude who could parkour over everything, right? And he's super fast, and he could use submachine guns and pistols, and he was cool. Then you had like the medium dude who could like kind of parkour, but also take a couple of hits, and he could use like assault rifles and things like that. And then you had the big dude, the bruiser, who was like the big dude. He couldn't parkour because he was too big, but he could carry like big machine guns and Gatling guns, and he was like a tank. And that's what it was. And it was a first-person game, and you would just fight one another, and it was just stale. It just didn't have much behind it.
So I'm looking here at the key features, and one of them says, play SMART, play smart. But it's an acronym, I guess, for something. And it says it uses the familiar shooter controls you're used to without the frustrating artificial controls and adds a new feature, the smart button. When you press the smart button, the game dynamically evaluates where you're trying to get to and makes it happen. whether you're a seasoned FPS veteran or someone just getting started, you'll be able to make more intelligent decisions during the fast-paced action with smart. Did that work well at all? I mean, it sounds like...
I don't think they had that at the time. And if they did,
okay.
I do remember there was a mechanic. Remember, this was quite a long time. It was like 7 years ago. So, like, yeah, like they had a thing where I think each character could do something special or it was slow down time. I forgot exactly what it was, but it wasn't enough to make the game awesome. Like, it just fell flat. It was a game that was very mediocre.
What do you guys think? Free to play Friday sometime?
Yeah,
free to play Friday.
I don't know. I don't know.
Free to
when
play,
we do that
whatever.
Anymore.
I want to, but we now record on Friday, so we can rotate it with like Saturday. I don't know, Saturdays. People might be busy.
Well, so this would make sense to play on an Ark day because Brink takes place on the Ark, a man-made floating city that is on the brink of all-out civil war. It's a prequel.
I was hoping to maybe rotate. You're so crazy. I was hoping to rotate our free-to-play nights maybe with Foe's D&D night, like.
Oh yeah.
Or should we do? Yeah, I guess we could pay. We could just put like a straw poll and see what night would work best for everyone, and then go there. But we could
it
try
seems like they added a little bit
my
more
schedule
since
to
then.
toss up what I'm doing.
Right, that's why
week to week, so
okay.
True.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the screenshots. It seems like it's a little bit more like evolved now, I guess, a little bit. But I mean, I don't really see it being that good.
There's a lot of cool games though that are free to play, but ironically, they always start out with such a big hype train, and then just like they end up on Steam free to play. Like, that's what it seems like. But
well, if you want, we could even talk about that at a different time if you want, about free to play games that that were surprisingly good because
we can do that.
Because one of them, I'll just throw in the hat to make people think about is oh crap, it was just on the tip of my tongue. The one that's kind of like Destiny, but has like Warframe.
Oh yeah, actually, a close friend of mine is a huge fan of that game.
My son
and I can see
is
why.
vested in that game. Him and his friends play a lot of it.
Yeah, so I mean that could be a good discussion for one of these weeks coming up.
Is that the one that just came out with Vermintide, or is that that's Warhammer?
That's Warhammer.
Yeah. Vermintide 2 is coming out.
I think it came out, but yeah, Warframe's been around for a while. It was out around the same time as the first Destiny came out. And a lot of people compared the two because they had a similar game style.
It was out like a couple of years before.
Yeah, and it like I said, I'll talk about it later. But I really enjoyed it. I can't get into it now because they've changed so much that I don't know what I'm doing.
Wasn't that one of those crowdfunded games that just took off?
Maybe.
We should also do an episode on crowdfund games, like games right now that are like getting a lot of hype. Like Crowfall is one that I've been following for like the last couple of years, but we'll do that at another time. But
are you writing these suggestions down?
I don't like crows.
I don't like crows.
In her head, in your head, zombie. Well, we were.
Oh God!
I'm gonna Trump yell and say you're fired.
Wow,
I don't like crows, reference. By the way.
Ouch.
I don't like crows.
I had to.
And see, I like that because when I first heard you say that, I was just thinking you're like playing a trump card, going over your head. But then I realized that was a double joke, with the whole Trump you're fired. And well done, sir. Well done.
Oh goodness, well done. Okay, so are you all brinked out, Foe, or no? Do you have more to say?
He's
I have no more
been
to
to the brink and back.
Okay. Well, my flopper was Wildstar, which is kind of 50-50. Because Wildstar still is a fun game. And I love the cartooniness. And I love the housing. Employer housing.
First of all, what is
okay, so sorry.
Wildstar, for those of us who aren't as familiar.
Exactly. You guys haven't heard of it? Or maybe...
Oh, I've heard of it.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it.
I considered playing it. I just don't know exactly what it might be.
Okay. Well, right now, you can play Wildstar for free on Steam.
Oh, well, they did that too.
I know, right? I know. Ding, ding, ding. Wildstar is a free-to-play, a massive multiplayer MMORPG. You can play it now on Steam for free, critically acclaimed, and now free-to-play. Wildstar is a fantastical sci-fi MMO where you can join your friends and undertake your own epic adventures on the fabled planet Nexus. And what sold me, I was so amped for this, I was getting ready to fire up a podcast for it. This was back in 2014, and I did a show called The Nexus Show because it was off from Nexus, the planet Nexus. And the YouTube videos, what I really liked about Carbine Studios is the one that was working on this. What I really liked and what sold me was the social media interaction of all the Carbine employees was top notch. They did so good at community involvement that you could not. It's like, it literally was. You always hear the wow killer, wow killer, wow killer. If I had to say this game, had it been baked a little longer, it would have been a high contender for a wow killer. No problem. Because it had the cartooniness, but what I really loved about it was the humor. People who were in charge of the videos on YouTube and everything, the humor was hilarious. The characters were awesome. There were lore. There was a plot. Like, there's a whole thing going on, and it really had a lot of us like, ah. But then Wildstar finally launched, and the sucky part is like, if you bought Wildstar through a certain amount of time, you got to get guaranteed that you would get in before anybody else, like by like a day or something. And if you bought the next package that had like a lot of in-game skins and stuff like that, then you would get to be in like 2 days. Like, they did it like that. They bought the people who bought stuff ahead of time. They gave you a little bit extra game time, get in and get your feet wet because you bought into the game. Well, the sucky part was I feel so bad for them, but man, if you want to see a rough ass launch, Wildstar was like in the freaking ditch along the side of the road. It was horrible. So I'm sitting there, launch night. All of my friends are like, oh, yes, 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 yes. We were getting so excited. You know what they did? They did everything backwards on accident. They let people in. So what the other part is if you bought the game ahead of time, they gave you a free to play ticket to give to one of your friends, and it would last for like a couple days so they could play with you while you were getting your free time in. They gave the people who didn't even buy the game and had free to play tickets, something in the system let those people in first in queue. So I put all those jackwagons up first in queue, and then all of the other people who actually bought the game in the back of the line.
Yeah, I remember that now.
It was a big shenanigans on the internet. There were people. Reddit was just like a dumpster fire. It was just pissed off people everywhere. They were trying to deny that's what happened, but it was leaked. That's exactly what happened. Carbine Studio. It was horrible. It was so heart-wrenching because everybody hates 1Qs. We all hate it. But when a game launches, we expect that. What we don't expect is to buy in to the early release thing and then get shoved to the back of the line and then get nothing in regards to us. Sorry, they just did a whole deny. That's not what happened at all. But there were people that wrote in and were like, no, really, I got a free-to-play pass and I was in and I had no problem. And I always called it the hamster wheel of death because literally that's what you saw was a hamster in a wheel for hours. Like, you were never allowed in the game. So right off the bat, I had a sour taste in my mouth. You done pissed me off. You done invited me over to your house and you hadn't even started cooking yet, and I'm starving. Like, that was BS. So I was so mad. So then once you finally got in and everything, got down and you're like, okay, we're in, everybody's going. The servers could not handle the amount of players. There were still queues for a very long time. They were promising like 20 and 40 man raids. They had some really awesome battlegrounds promised and PvP and all this stuff. And they had PvP servers and PvE servers just like Warcraft did. And then once we got in, we were running into bugs left and right, and they weren't fixing them. We were reporting them. These bugs would just sit there for months. Like, you're just like, I know everybody's reporting this stuff. It's like they just were like, meh, So that makes your player base, when you don't even listen, to the player base, that really puts a sour taste into it. So we were already kind of sour, and now we're just kind of looking around, what the hell? And then what everybody thought was going to be so amazing was this attunement process for PvE. It was so awesome. Everybody loved it in World of Warcraft. They love this attunement process. So then what happened is the attunement process was so grindy that the people who finally made it to the other side and got their rank were so fried that they didn't even want to take the time to help their guildies or their friends through because they were fried. The amount of work that they had to do, it's like, so then it was breaking up guilds and raid teams. It was like, no, I did it. I don't want to do it again. I don't want to have to go in again. Like, it was that painful for them to get. So that Cricket also has some feedback on this side. So I'll hand it to you for a sec.
Yeah. So, some of the stuff you were saying, I was going through my old emails. I was looking for Wildstar because I was seeing, what thing I had purchased, and yeah, I saw that I had issues getting in. First off, it used the NC account or NC Soft account, which apparently was also the same as Guild Wars.
Yes.
So I had apparently, from what I was reading here, I had an account with Guild Wars 2, but it locked out when I was trying to log into it. So I had to actually open up a ticket in order to even be able to create my Wildstar account. And I was also talking with one of my buddies, and looking through it, and he was just having a shitty time logging into Wildstar. I had completely forgotten that all the issues we had with that, just logging in to begin with until you said something. But yeah, if I recall, when they were getting ready to launch the game and everything, they were part of their whole thing is that they're saying there was a large they're calling a large number of people loved the old WoW style. They loved the grind, and we're taking you back to that. We're taking you back to the hard WoW.
I want to say one or two of the
WoW
developers,
how it used to be.
Right, and I want to say one or two of the WoW developers from way back in the day actually were at Carbine at that time. Like, I want to say that's what was up.
It's very possible. But yeah, I remember them saying, we're going back to like vanilla WoW style. So that's why they put that attunement process in, because WoW had an attunement. That's why
they put 20 and 40 man raids.
The big raids, because WoW had it, and people loved it, and they've been clamoring for it. They want this. They don't like the 10-man raids, the 25-man raids.
And they did not like LFR. And all that stuff.
But then people got into it, like, we don't want this. We can't man a 20-man raid. We can't man a 40-man raid. Especially, like you said.
Because they couldn't even get the players to fill a 20 or a 40 because the attunement process was such a horrendous bottleneck.
Yeah, because
it was never going to happen.
Yeah, because I'm one of those, especially when I go into MMOs, which is why I've been trying to stay away from MMOs. I just go in and I go hard. I play too many hours and just spend way too much time and go hard for it. So when I join with a bunch of friends, I usually leave them in the dust, and and then I'm trying to do this stuff. So I did the same thing here. I was playing a tank, and I was going through, and I was like, I want to raid, because it seemed like it'd be cool. So I was just burning myself out going through the attunement, and in order to do the attunement, you had to do well, in order to get these silver medals in all the dungeons and the quests. And then you had to do and kill 20 something world bosses, and you had to do all this other stuff too. And then it's like, okay, fine, I'm attuned now. Well, I need to find 19 or 39 more people that are attuned as well.
Exactly.
And so,
and they weren't in your guild, so then all of your guildies were like, you're going to go with that person and not me, and I'm in your guild, and they're like, well, you don't have the attunement. You're not going to help me. And you're like, there was such a mental block that people are like, no, you're right. I'm not going to take you because it's painful.
Yeah, I didn't have a big guild going in or anything like that. It was 5 of us, and I left them in the dust, so I had to try to find a guild that I could try to raid with.
I could tell you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, because I have another story that it was a big guild and they still couldn't do it. But go ahead.
So then I got in there, and now it's like, okay, we tried to raid, a couple times, but we couldn't get enough people to raid because they weren't attuned. So okay, let's get people attuned. Okay, well, in order to get through it, we need some good tanks. Well, I'm one of the tanks, so great. Okay, I'm having to carry people through, and then we'd grab 1 or 2 other good people and try to carry people through. But some of the dungeons were so difficult that even having half of your party as people who've been attuned and gone through this, you still couldn't meet the requirements for getting the silver medal, because a lot of them were basically you couldn't wipe, or you had a certain amount of time to do certain objectives, or you could only die so many times, or all this stuff. So they were difficult. So what we ended up doing was we would form a party of 4 experienced players who were already attuned. We would go through and get to the final boss, and then we'd say, okay, quick, stop. One person leave.
Yes.
1, maybe 2 people leave, and then we would bring in two people who needed attuned. It's like, we just want to get you silver.
Yes.
So you'll be attuned, and then they would bring them in. But
you had to trick the system to get the results.
It didn't help them get any better,
right?
Because they still sucked, but they were attuned now, so we had more bodies.
It was just a horrible setup. So it was such a letdown. And the part that I was going to say, I had become friends. I had joined the Wildstar Nation podcast guild because it was a really great podcast. It was a really funny group of guys, and that's where I met some of my friends. And that did that, and that's how I got into Ark too. Was Bear, that was one of the hosts there, actually started playing Ark, and I got in with Ark because of Bear. And it was such a hilarious podcast, but their freaking guild was massive. Like, it was big because they had started like a whole year in advance, and they had they had been recording their podcast, and they had a big guild right at launch, and they couldn't even do a 20-40 man raid. They couldn't because they couldn't get the people through the attunement process because it was so ridiculous. And nobody's like, for people who had normal lives and didn't have the learning curve on it was crazy. Like,
the whole attunement stuff was a pain.
Oh shit, It was horrible.
And then so the other thing that happened with me was, so I got in that guild and we were sitting there trying to raid, but so this was maybe 2 or 3 weeks after launch. We were sitting there trying to raid, and my guild decided, oh, the server we're on just sucks.
Yes.
There's nobody on here that's going to raid, so we're gonna transfer servers. I'm like, I don't want to pay $15 to transfer a server to hope that somebody else is doing it, because we've only given the game like 2 weeks. It only sucks because people haven't had a time to go through it yet.
Right.
And so that guild, like half of them to 3/4, like, we're changing servers. I'm like, well, fuck you, I'm not. So I left that part.
It totally broke up freaking guilds because of all these factors.
I left that guild, joined another guild. Same thing happened after another week. Oh, we can't raid. We're leaving the server. This server just fucking sucks.
Yes.
So they left too.
Yep.
And then I was like, okay, well, now I don't feel like going through this process again of finding another guild. Right. And so that's kind of what killed it for me. But all that aside, there was a lot of fun stuff, cool stuff that Wildstar did that other games didn't. Like, I was kind of just, when I searched for Wildstar in my email, I had sent myself a bunch of emails of things that I found that I wanted to keep a hold of. I forgot their whole housing system.
The housing system
was awesome.
Is amazing. It's still, you could still play the game, and we could try it out, like, just like we said, for fun, but it was freaking badass. It was a great housing system. Yeah,
the housing system, I don't remember if you had to do something to get it, but everybody had their own personal house that was in space. And you would find or purchase or craft all these different housing things you could put in there, like just different housing components. You could put like water features, you could put trees. There was even like little kind of mini puzzle games you could put in there.
Yeah, you could make it like that parkour element.
Yeah, there was like a parkour
anything. Like, it was just the ceiling's the limit. Like, it was amazing.
And you could have like a mine, like mine and farm and stuff in there, so you could actually go in and you could mine materials in your house. But you could even go to other people's houses. Like, you could either go to a random house, or you could go to you could choose your guildmates' houses, or all this stuff. And if they had mines and stuff there, you could go and you could mine their stuff. And depending on how they had it turned on, they could have it turned on where you go and you mine stuff and you get it all, or you go and mine stuff and you get half, and they automatically get half.
Right.
So I remember there was a mod out there that was awesome. You activated it, and basically it joined you in this channel in the background, and everybody who had this mod, it would put them in this channel, and it would give you this list of people's names. And basically the rule was, you would go and you would set it to be 50-50 for mining. And it would give you this list of names of all these people who did that. And so you would just click a button, and it would take you to the next person. You would go in, you would mine their stuff, you would get half, they would get half, and you just keep doing that. So once they started that, I would go to work, I'd come home, and I'd have tons of crafting materials because people would go through and mine my shit for me. I'm like, this is awesome.
Right.
I don't have to do this grind because other people are doing it because they're getting something out of it. So that was really cool when they did that. But just like I said, the housing system itself was awesome.
Right. And that, I mean, so, now I haven't hopped back in to know, and I will never be able to probably devote that much time it takes to check out the dungeon stuff and seeing if it's gotten any better, seeing if they fixed the attunement. I don't know. They may have. Yeah. Because now it's free to play. They've had plenty of time, whatever. But so if anybody has any feedback they want to give us to see if it's gotten any better, if they played Wildstar now, and if it's a lot, there's not so much of a bottleneck, that'd be good to know. But
the other thing I thought was really nice about that game was, you had you had dungeons, and then they had, I can't remember if they were called adventures or quests or something.
Adventures.
They were adventures. So you had your dungeons, which are what you expect. It's it's a dungeon crawl. You go through, you kill beasts, you kill bosses. But the adventures, they were different play styles. There was one of them that was essentially, it was a MOBA. It was essentially like a League of Legends.
Yeah.
Here's the Storm objective game where, your team, had like a tree, their team had a tree. There was spawns of creatures that would spawn, and they would run up the lanes. And you were playing the heroes just like you would in League of Legends and all that stuff. And you had to go and take towers and take out their towers in order to fight there. And so that was one of your adventures, and you got loot for it.
Right.
There was another one that was the Oregon Trail. You had to accompany a group of settlers as they were carrying their wagon train up the way, and you had to fight. You had to fight stuff away from them. Nobody died of dysentery, but you did have to. At one point, you had to stop and you had to go and find water. You had to find enough water and bring it back. You had to go and you had to like find this other stuff, and you would get to different points, and it would kind of be like, "What do you want to go?" To the left path or the right path, and each one had different things you could,
right,
different things you faced, and so that was cool because it wasn't just a normal dungeon crawl. There was another one that I forget what that one was, but you had to do a couple different objectives. There was like 3 or 4 adventures you had to do, which you had to do them as part of attunement, but it was just neat because it brought different game styles into your normal MMO. They got peanut butter in your chocolate or chocolate in your peanut butter.
Right. There you go. Yeah, and I think that's why it was such a bummer that it flopped so fast. And there was a lot of drama going on at Carbine Studios. People were it was just a big hot mess. It was so sad too to see such a beautiful world and something that everybody was so excited for. It just honestly needed to be baked longer.
Don't you put your chocolate in my peanut butter, Ricky Bobby?
You don't do that. You just don't do that. So that's my big flopper.
And I think I came into that game off of Star Wars: Old Republic.
Oh, okay, which is also a flopper in my opinion for me.
I think I was playing Star Wars: Old Republic, and no, I think Guild Wars 2. Whatever. I know some of the people I played Star Wars with. I was checking to see if they played Wildstar. They didn't. Maybe
that was a flopper from a lot of people.
A flapper from a lot of flappers up in here.
Stop flapping your flopper.
Exactly. So speaking of floppers, Blue has another one to share with us.
Yeah, this one I can't say too much about because it was just very disappointing. Back in the day,
Wow.
I had a great RPG called Shadowrunner. And
Shadowrun?
yeah.
Okay.
I called it Runner. Sorry, it was Shadowrun.
It says Shadowrunners in this thing.
Well, I think that was the one that came out that was disappointing. The RPG was amazing. Like I loved it as a kid, and when they announced that they were going to put it out, another one, I was super excited. They hyped it up pretty good, and as more information came out, they put out there that it was going to be a first-person shooter style, and it was super disappointing because I wanted a new RPG, but I was like, all right, I'll give it a chance. When it did finally come out, it was interesting for the time. I mean, you had different classes, different races that you could play, and they all had different abilities, but it was just after about 2 or 3 weeks of playing, it was just rinse and repeat, and it was kind of boring. So I was super disappointed in the fact that it wasn't an RPG, which I think they later put something out, but I kind of fell off after that. And then the other game that was super disappointing was the Duke Nukem Forever. Waited a very, very long time.
I was disappointed with that one too, to tell you the truth.
Well, I mean,
but you know what? What were we expecting? Duke Nukem was really never really like a great game.
I should have known better. It took them 10 years, and they kept having to redo it to update it for the new systems, and it just fell flat on its face. I spent a lot of money on pre-order for it, and when it finally came out, I literally think I played through the first 2 levels, and I'm like, I gotta put this crap away. I'm done. It was just that bad. I didn't like the story to it. It didn't make much sense to me. It was a typical Duke Nukem game, I guess, but it never felt like it updated for anything. And that's all I got.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan on that game. And I wanted that game to be good because I was like, God, Duke Nukem finally coming back. This is going to be super cool. And it was a super dud.
Yeah, I was really hoping for more out of it. Like I was hoping for maybe like a new storyline or just something. And I don't know. It did not.
The original ones were bad. This one's bad. It kind of matched the trend.
Well, I had many hours on the original ones because it was fun, but
We
when
all
this
did
one
because we
came
were
out-
young. We were young, and Duke Nukem would curse, and you know, and it was like, you know,
Do you
funny.
remember the
game.
pixelated strippers on a pole with the little
Exactly. That's
titty
why
tassels?
we liked it, because there was stuff like that in the game. We were like, that's why we played it, because we were young, and it was funny to see little, you know, girls stripping with tassels on their tatas.
I'm gonna rip off your head and shit down your throat.
I totally came back at some very weird time. What is going on?
The big thing is, I think with the new one is they went overboard on all that jazz, and it was just too much.
That was one of my favorite parts about that game, was when he taunts the boss with that, that I'm gonna rip off your head and shit down your throat, and then after you kill him,
Like the guy in the game said this?
yes,
Yeah, we're talking about Duke Nukem.
and then after you kill the boss, you literally do that. You grab the guy's head, you rip it off, and then his body drops down, and you see him, basically sit on the guy's shoulders
Oh my goodness.
and pull out like a newspaper, like he's taking a shit.
Oh, that's the newspaper though makes it cute. So
But yeah, considering the game starts off, like the very first thing you hear when you start the game is, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of gum.
I've heard that.
Which is pulling the quote from They Live and Rowdy Roddy Piper, which is
Okay,
an awesome
yeah.
movie, in my opinion, one of those cult classics from John Carpenter. But I'm a Carpenter head, so.
Alrighty.
That was a good movie. I like that movie. when I was a
Like
kid.
the Carpenters? Is that what?
No, like John Carpenter, the director, writer of
Oh, okay. I'm
the
like,
original Halloween
Alright.
movie,
oh, yeah. I'm not a Carpenter head. So.
and a bunch of other movies. as well.
I went back to like 2011. You guys are going back to like almost the 90s.
Not
Well,
me.
I mean,
I hit the newest
I was a '80s kid, so
Well, let me see when did the one that I'm talking about? Oh, wow, 2007. So I'm guessing.
Damn, I didn't even think about digging that deep. I was totally let down by the freaking Indiana Jones Atari game. I still don't know what the hell that shit was.
So I was trying to think of a game that
Still don't know.
It was like a worse
I need to
pitfall.
Google that because that was horrible.
So I was trying to think of a game that let me down, and as we were
Look
talking
at what
earlier,
you did, Wilektron. You have opened up a can of worms.
I mean, it's the
reminded-
main topic for a reason.
I know, right? I just thought, what is the real big letdown? That damn Indiana game. I never got it, but hey, there wasn't Google back then, so.
So as we were talking earlier, it reminded me of a game that I really wanted to like, and I did enjoy, but it did horribly, so then I enjoyed it less. And that was Hellgate London. So it came out on October 31st, 2007, on Halloween. It was a game that was created by a few of the former Blizzard employees who had been working on the Diablo series. Well, I've loved the Diablo series, and Diablo 2 was a game that I spent way too many hours on. So when I heard that former Diablo creators were creating this new game, it wasn't a Blizzard game; it was Flagship Studios game called Hellgate London, and it had a lot of the same elements to it. I was like, this sounds pretty awesome. So it was a roguelike game. It could be either first person or third person, depending on what class you were playing. Adventure game, and kind of like the Diablo, where it's you're just making your way through and just slashing your way through tons of monsters. And the story was that in London, these gates to some dimension opened up, and basically all these demons whatever came through and were just destroying everything. So it was based in London, and it was pulling out elements and locations from London. And so it had a bunch of different classes to it that you could play, and all the classes played very differently. Like there was an engineer class that had kind of like a pet with it. There was kind of your normal melee class. There was these different caster classes, and they all played very differently. And the gearing system in a way was kind of similar to like Diablo, except they added a bunch of extra stuff in there. They added these different elemental damages, which would do different things. Like if you had fire damage, you had a chance of setting things on fire. You could, I think you could like hit them with like electricity, and it would like decrease the amount of damage they did. And so it had a lot of potential because you could do these different builds and to do different effects. And they I don't remember if they had raids to start with, but they had like some raid bosses that it made it seem like you would kind of need to be in multiplayer and kind of work on these different builds in order to take out the raid bosses. but the game just flopped. I mean, just people did not seem to like it, and even a lot of the diehard Diablo fans were just like, this game sucks, and it just dropped off super quick. And so I wanted to like it, but just the community just dropped out of the bottom of it. And so for a game like this, where a lot of it, you kind of need that community in order to trade with to get the gear, because it's randomized drops and everything. It just made it where you couldn't really play the game very well. Well,
that's too bad.
But apparently, I don't know if it's still an active thing, but I think the game got bought out then by like a Korean company who then released it, and there was like a Hellgate Tokyo that came out, and I think I don't know if it's still current, but when I last looked, the webpage is still up, but I don't. And I think there's still updates of basically. I think some people are trying to recreate the servers. One of those kind of like how WoW. There was the people that were trying to recreate the vanilla WoW servers.
Right. That's still on the board.
What is it called? It's London 2038. That's the website, london2038.com.
That's probably when the game.
Or no, wait, no, that's not it. Where is it? Yeah, it's a completely free, non-commercial, fan-made, volunteer-run private server project to bring back classic Hellgate London multiplayer as it was in 2007 to 2009. But they're currently in open alpha, according to this, what time that is. There was an update, upcoming plan changes from February 5th, 2018. So it is still an active project, it seems.
Wow.
Maybe I see there's a Discord link here. Maybe I should join that just to see, because like I said, it had potential, but even this, I think the community's going to be probably a couple hundred people.
And that seems to be the thing, like a lot of these games, why they flop for us, because obviously it seems like they're releasing stuff way too soon, at least for like Wildstar and what I was talking about. Did you guys find anything like that? Like where it just feels like it was so buggy, like they definitely were being pushed to release the game way ahead of time?
For some of them, it seems that way.
Yeah.
Like they get the hype train.
That seems to be the big thing. Yeah, they get controlled by the hype train. They lose control by the control the hype train has. It's a little crazy, but
gamers are their own worst enemy.
Yeah,
because
by far.
Because we will demand
we have those high expectations.
We will demand things to be released on our schedules, and if studios push them back to fix it, then we're like, oh my gosh, this studio sucks. They can't release stuff on time. Like, think of how much flack Blizzard has gotten over the years and decades, because they're notorious for pushing dates back. Yeah. And they do it so they release much better products.
Yeah, more quality products.
But people just give them such shit about you can't release anything on time. You're a horrible studio and all this stuff. But yet you have the millions and millions of people who play the Diablos and the WoWs.
True.
Yeah, so we're a victim of our own.
I agree.
Demands.
I think it's time to hit to our what we're talking about, right? Sure. Here we go.
If you want to, I guess so.
I All right, Mr. Foe, what do you got for us?
Oh my god, I'm first.
You are first, because I totally removed myself underneath.
You sasso bitch.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
Stop moving me around.
I didn't want to go last.
Well, now
I don't like to be moved around.
Mostly because it's too much pressure. Anyway.
So tell me not what to not
Wilektron, it's my turn to talk.
No.
I'm first. It's my turn.
Get out here,
everybody, leave me alone.
Tell us a little bit about something. Tell us a little bit something about L5R.
Okay,
so
it's been my love child. All right, it's been my love child the past couple of weeks because I joined a league for Legend of the Five Rings, which is cool because it's a stronghold league. And what does that mean?
What does that mean?
It means...
What does that mean, Fo?
It means first of all, the club that is running the event becomes a stronghold, and the winner of the event claims that club as their stronghold.
Does he get to call himself a warlord?
I have such
Kotai.
envy for you having these available things
It's
that
so
you get
cool.
to go and do and have fun. Because where I'm at, like, no, this stuff like
I bet you
can't
there's
find these
something
little-
around there.
There
You could find
is,
something.
but
Yeah.
I'd probably get lice coming back from it.
Possibly.
I was gonna say,
You might get lice.
it's like LARPing. Everybody would give you shit for doing it.
Well, it would only be
I don't
like
care.
beard
I
lice
swim
from all
upstream,
the
Blue. I
from
swim
all the neck
upstream.
beards.
I don't. Well, because I only say this because in my area, not in my area, but my area, my friend Big Hair was really getting into the local, like card game scene, like with why can't now I'm gonna, like the little card games.
Magic the Gathering.
Magic,
Pokemon.
He was in Magic, and he was doing really good. But he said one of the hardest things was like the local group that did it. Nobody would talk, and it was very like it was a younger group. There was nobody his age, so he felt really weird, like going to the tournaments with people who were like 20 years younger.
I
than
get it.
him.
Yeah. Well, see where I'm from, like New York,
It
like
seems
Magic.
like everybody.
It's a huge
kinda-
crowd. There'll be guys
I
who are there
envy
who are like
that.
in their 60s. There'll be guys who are there who are in their 40s,
Exactly.
30s.
That's what I want.
There'll be
I want
teenagers,
that.
morons.
I want the mix. I don't want to feel like I'm going to end up on the 6 o'clock news because
Exactly.
thinks something. You know what I mean?
Did you
Like,
just call them morons?
I didn't.
Yeah, like the younger generation I'm talking about. Millennials who are snorting
everyone.
condoms. They put
Yeah,
down.
yep.
The condoms.
They're,
Oh, God.
they're not millennials. Sorry.
I don't
I
even think
heard
those are
about that.
millennials anymore. I think that's
No.
like Gen
No,
X or
sorry.
some shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before that.
Dude,
Gen
that's-
X.
We're
I don't-
actually millennials.
I don't know.
We're
What
Gen
they
Y.
are,
We're
these
Gen
these
Y.
people that are before the millennials, that are after the millennials, right? Like millennials aren't so bad anymore compared
It's
to this.
the
And technically,
millennial
we're
dookie. It's
we're
the
millennials
dookie that
technically,
came from the millennials.
but
yeah, these are not
yeah.
millennials that are snorting condoms.
so they're
Okay.
taking condoms, shoving them up their nose,
Here we go.
snorting them, and then pulling them through their like sinus cavity
Who comes
in their
up with this
mouth.
Stuff? I don't know.
Why?
It's like when kids used to snort spaghetti noodles.
Pixie sticks.
Yeah,
This isn't
wow.
a spaghetti
Pixie
noodle.
sticks, yeah.
This is
that's
a
a
condom.
bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Oh
Hey,
man, let's do this line of
Back
Pixie.
to
It's
the
gonna
Legend
burn.
of the Five Rings. So
yeah, 'cause
Gonna
what it
burn
looks
us.
like they're doing like the freak shows we're doing with the snakes, where they snort it through their nose and pull it out through their mouth.
Fucking
It's
kids.
disgusting.
Yeah,
So what's
But the
not
videos
disgusting
are a little
is
funny
this
to
Legend
watch
of the Five
because
Rings.
they have a condom dangling from their nose. Anyway,
You're not gonna. Oh gosh.
I totally tried to get us back on track.
oh, good now. We're good. So,
The
Legend of the Five Rings.
Five Rings.
Sorry,
The
I
crowd
screamed
full-
because
What?
things happened.
Okay.
What did you say? You
What happened?
What did you do?
He tried a condom.
What is going on?
No.
He had a
No,
condom in
something
his
happened
nose.
In the game
Son of a
I was
bitch.
playing.
now you're not supposed to use a used condom there, Wilektron.
Oh, no,
that's-
but that might
that's
be
the error.
easier. At least be lubricated.
On the wrong side, though.
Hey, things squeeze out.
Oh gosh. Can we just move on, please?
Yes, please and thank you. I tried, Wilektron.
I know
guys
you
kept
did.
bringing-
I know you
bringing
did.
me back.
I'm just trying to
Wilektron,
drag
you
y'all
pulled us
back.
back here. I was
Oh,
about to
dear
go
God.
forward, and you pulled us back.
Okay, Legend of the Five Rings.
Okay, so Legend of the Five Rings. The crowd for Legend of the Five Rings is a bit of an older crowd also. You don't really see a lot of the younger people playing. It's a little bit more complicated, and the whole theme is a little bit more like mature.
That's because
Now-
they just don't understand the awesomeness of samurais and stuff.
Exactly. So
I think it looks amazing, and I'm very envious.
yes, it's very fun. So Stronghold League, I decided to try out a new variation of my deck. Why I tried to do this in the league, it's beyond me. So I didn't start off too good. So I lost 2 games, I won 2, and now I have to win my next 2, which I didn't. I lost one yesterday. So I'm 2-3. If I win my next one, I have a chance of staying in the league and making the top cut for next week's tournament. But that was almost a bad start.
We have gun control and
That-
snorting condoms and now punts. Like
Exactly.
I'm gonna do some
So
what is going on?
if I lose that last game, I'm definitely out. So hopefully I do not
Oh
lose.
God!
What's cool though, today they came out with a the first Stronghold clan pack. And what this is, it's an expansion that focuses on one clan. So the clan that they focused on is, you guessed it, my favorite clan, Phoenix. So the Phoenix clan pack came out today, so I got to pick it up and rip into all those cards. But it's not just Phoenix stuff. There's something in there for everybody. It's just that Phoenix got most of it because it's their stronghold pack. So that's really cool. And then next month starts another cycle. It's called an Imperial cycle, and that's going to be 6 more expansion packs within 6 weeks.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you get 6 more packs of cards within 6 weeks. And remember, in this game, when you buy a pack, you get everything. There's no chasing rares. There's no blah, blah, blah. It's you buy the expansion, you get everything for the expansion, which is awesome. So
it sounds awesome.
Yeah, and then I had another thing today. It was kind of like a business deal that I was doing on Facebook. Now, I have custom tokens for this game because why not? I want to be pimp. I want to pimp out my stuff. So I have custom Phoenix tokens that are made of wood, and they're very nice. But lately, my son has been playing with me, and I kind of want to mix up the factions a little bit. I want to play Scorpion for like a little while, and my wood Phoenix tokens are too geared towards Phoenix. So what I'm doing is I put those tokens up for sale. So I'm selling those tokens. They're very nice tokens. They're all wood, very nicely carved. You have Phoenixes carved in like little wood blocks for the honor tokens. You have like rose petals carved into like little rings for like the fate, which is, coins. And then you have like a wood power dial, which has a phoenix on it. And it's a really nice set. But I found a guy who actually laser engraves tokens and things. And he makes tokens for all different types of games. So I sat with him on the phone for like an hour, and I have custom tokens coming that are made just for me.
Oh, that's sweet.
So I did it where I combined my fate tokens and my honor tokens into one double-sided token. So I could use them both for whatever I want to use them for. So since I wanted my stuff to be more like, not like towards one faction, so I have like a cool samurai helmet on one side and a lotus petal on the other side. And then I got like nice custom honor tokens, and the dial, I got a really nice dial, which is like a samurai mask with some swords going through it.
I feel like a samurai just yelled it behind you. Is that just
yeah?
me?
My three boys just walked in the room.
I swear to God, I heard.
I know, always, exactly.
All right, sorry.
So I sat there and I got custom made tokens for me. They're laser engraved. They're way nicer than the wood ones. Black and gold. They're gonna look sick. So they were a little pricey.
About how much did that run you?
They were a little pricey, but they're it's custom made. I mean, the guy put all my artwork on it, put everything.
Wow.
So no
Holy
one's
crap.
gonna have this set of tokens.
That's cool.
When you said engraved, I totally just thought maybe like your tag name, like Foe or something.
No, I got like samurai. It's really cool. It's total samurai. The dial to like say how many cards I want to draw. That's gonna look sick because it's one of those like half masks, the Oni masks, and it has and it has 2 samurai swords crisscrossed going through it. It's gonna look off the chain. And the guy carves everything out of plastic, and then he engraves everything with like metal. So it's gonna look off the chain. But it's coming from Europe also, so I'm probably not going to get it for like 3 weeks.
Well, hey, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do.
But it's worth it.
Yeah, sounds like it. Do you guys have any places that does stuff like this around you guys? Like Foe? How about you, Blue? Do you have any opportunities like what he's talking about, or are you in my realm where...
Let me tell you something.
So are you talking about like
everywhere.
gaming places?
When I go to big tournaments, there are people from like all over. They come from all the little towns everywhere.
I mean, like if you just every day, like if you just were like a weekly tournament, like do people really travel from Michigan to go to New York to do a weekly tournament?
But I'm saying, those people go to the big ones, so they got to be playing somewhere in Michigan. I've met people from Michigan before.
So I have a ton of little stores nearby that people can go to and play.
Yeah.
But I live super close to Seattle, so there's crazy amount of conventions in Seattle. So
you have it.
Oh, Seattle has tons of stuff. They're like the king of games.
How about you, Will? Do you have any, or Cricket? Do you guys have like anything like this? I'm just more rural, so.
Yeah,
I don't have
go
that.
ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead, Cricket.
Okay, I will go ahead. Yeah, there's at least 2 or 3 different places right nearby within a half an hour of me. That basically pretty much any comic store or kind of like board game store in your area usually have these things. One of them near me is called Hobbytown. They have a huge back area where they have probably 15, 20 long tables and about 6 or 7 of the like the Warhammer type battle tables.
Well, like buildings and terrain and all that
stuff. Yeah, with all the buildings and terrain, and people bring their armies out there. We regularly, that's where we were regularly playing Pathfinder. They'd have a Pathfinder game at that location every week. I think they would have all kinds of tournaments and stuff. They would give workshops on painting. They give workshops on building armies. There was all kinds of stuff like that going on at that location. The other game store that was nearby, they have probably about, I know they have tournaments. They regularly have Magic tournaments because they have them set up there all the time. When we had free RPG day there, I forget when that was. It was a few months ago. There was a Magic tournament going on that day, and again, that one has probably like 8 to 10 long tables set up for people to play at. And yeah, I think people just would go every there'd be the regulars there every day that were just playing games of your Magic or what other games. They might have been playing L5R and stuff there too. I also know that there's a somewhat local convention. I actually met one of the guys who ran the convention when I was out at Gen Con a few years back. He had given me a die because they actually had 6-sided dice made up for it. It was called Scarab Con, and on the sixth side it was a picture of this scarab, and it had like the year for it. So it was like Scarab Con, like 2007 or whichever year it was. And he had given me his card. At the time, I was living in Maryland, and it was this convention out of South Carolina. I'm like, I'm never going to make it to this thing, but I kept the card. But then I found out, when I came down here to North Carolina, and I was talking to people like, some of the regulars like, oh yeah, we go to Scarab Con every year. It's an awesome con. And I was like, I actually kind of forgot all about it because I never thought I'd be anywhere close to it. But it's out of where is it? It's out of Columbia, South Carolina. For Scarab Con. Yeah,
I've actually heard of that con. Yeah, and it's nice to get custom stuff. I think it's really fun. Like our game club, we have 6-sided dice that have our symbol on it, and we just ordered hockey jerseys. So when we go to these large events, we have our own hockey jersey, and it got the Warmonger symbol on it. Mine says Faux Render on the back. And they're really sweet. Actually, I just got it 2 days ago, and this thing is nice. It's a super nice jersey.
Are you wearing it right now and nothing else?
Yeah, of course.
It's like WoW players in their
I got my
wizard's
nips just chafing on the inside of this jersey.
But yeah, there's cons all over the place. Small cons, big cons going on. When I was up in Maryland, out of Aberdeen, there was a smaller con that was coming out. There was cons out of the Baltimore area, cons out of DC, and I mean, if you want to drive, even just half an hour to an hour, I'm sure there's gonna be some type of con or something, or a place to play games at, because they're pretty much everywhere around the country.
Right.
Well, Gen Con's probably gonna have a Faux Render running around.
There you go.
The only claim to fame I have is I went to the very first PAX here in Seattle.
Wow.
Oh, nice. That what they just had?
Or no, it wasn't in Seattle. It was Tacoma. No, it was somewhere else. But yeah, I went to the very first one. It was tiny. It was nothing like it is now.
I'm so mad I missed it. But in Pennsylvania, they had the first PAX that was dedicated towards board games. PAX Unplugged, it's called.
Oh, that's
And it was
really
a PAX
cool.
that's dedicated towards tabletop gaming.
So I know. Do you know what area was it? Like Lancaster?
I don't know exactly what area because I didn't go. Because I found out about it like a week before it was happening, and you need more time to plan something like that because it's a whole weekend you want to go for. I don't like to when I go to a con, I go for the weekend. I don't go for one day.
Yeah,
because I know over in like the Lancaster, I think in Lancaster they were having. I want to say it's like a national. It's like the national convention, something like for the table topping. And particularly for the Ticket to Ride board game. I think that's where they have the national tournament for that. And so, Ticket to Ride, if you haven't played, that's a pretty fun board game.
That's a fun board game. That's really fun.
It's
easy. It's so easy to play, but fun.
Yeah. So yeah, you're kind of like building routes, train routes, across whatever country of the version you're playing. it's an international game. So the winners, the top, either the winner of the top 5 or whatever of the United States of the national one actually goes to the world, to the world game for it, and it's held, I think, over in England somewhere. And one of my friends, the guy who owns the game store that I used to frequent out of the Columbia, Maryland area, he was the one who won, or I think he came in second place in America. But he got to go over to the international tourney and all that. So some of the other people I was playing with, they would regularly go to to Lancaster for the convention and all that stuff. So I was wondering if that PAX Pennsylvania, whatever, may have been kind of the new version of that.
Well, PAX Unplugged, yeah, they had, I know they had a championship for one game. I forgot the name of it, but it's kind of like air hockey, but you have these magnets and you have these like magnets that you control, and you hit a ball back and forth, kind of like air hockey, but it's a marble and it's round, and you use these magnets to control the paddle, and you have your hands under the table, so you kind of have to like move the paddle around.
Oh, okay.
From under the table, and there's like these like these magnets that are on the field, and if your paddle like hits those magnets, if like a certain amount of them are like attached to your paddle, you lose the point. Okay. So there's several different ways, so you could get points several different ways, and it looks kind of fun. And they had like the world championship for it there. I think. Yeah. Nice.
All right, so I just searched for Lancaster Game Convention, and I didn't find that one, but there's one called Mepicon in Scranton in 21 days for the Mid-Eastern Pennsylvania convention. So yeah, there's conventions that go all over the country, different areas, and
they're all over the place.
Board games.
They're literally all over the place.
Gen Con's still one of the biggest ones for board games.
Yes.
Which that actually got its start.
Adepticon just passed. Adepticon is pretty big too. Adepticon, but that's more for tabletop wargaming.
Okay.
There's some board games, but it's mostly for like Malifaux, Warhammer, Shadespire, Star Wars, Legend of the Five Rings. More of like the big name tabletop games.
Yeah.
So video game wise, Pixark has been taking over most of my gaming.
Fucking game. I'm
basically just been playing Pixark. So video games wise, for the past week or so, is just Pixark. So I mean, Pixark like crazy. I'm having fun.
Worst luck in this game.
Oh really? I'm mediocre luck. I mean, I'm having a blast. I'm building up my place. Me and Esme just moved our base over to this cool bamboo area near the water. And we wanted to get out of the starting area because there was too many little noobs popping up around our house, just digging everywhere.
Yeah, after Cricket's little incident, I'm currently starting over.
We'll talk about that incident tomorrow.
So that's what I've been playing. I've been playing a lot of the Legend of the Five Rings. I've been playing Pixark, but I also Shadespire is coming out with 2 new factions this month, so I already put in my cash for those. I have those coming to me. I can't wait for those. And that's what I've been doing game-wise. But I've been watching a show on Netflix called it's not that new. It's kind of new. It's called Altered Carbon. And it's a sci-fi Netflix show. And I had started watching it when it first came out. But then I got sucked into other shows, but now I'm full circle and I'm back to Altered Carbon. So
are you full or faux circle?
I'm faux circled.
Faux circle.
I faux circled around, and Altered Carbon. It's pretty good. I mean, that's starting to get
naked show that doesn't want you to concentrate on people being naked. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we talked about it. I think on the first episode. And I stopped
really
watching
sit down and watch it.
I got back into it, but now it's turning into...
We know you do.
It's turning into like what most sci-fi shows turn into, where they try and put in too many plot twists. They try and just over-convolute the storyline. That's like, it's just sci-fi. It's something sci-fi shows do a lot.
Yeah.
And they're just turning this thing like it was pretty good.
I guess they don't want it to be predictable or something.
I guess so. And the last couple episodes, just like, really? I mean, Whatever. So I'm kind of enjoying it, but I'm starting to not like it at the same time. Is it worth watching? Yes. The special effects are good. The fighting's good. So for that alone, it's worth watching. And if you're into like nudity, there's plenty of it.
But you're not supposed to focus on that. You're supposed to focus on the human body beyond the human body.
But the officer chick was hot.
I'm just saying, in quotations, like that's their intent. It's like sneaky porn, but not. But it is.
It basically is.
That
Game of Thrones?
That reminds me, Fo, did you watch any more Black Mirror yet?
I'm afraid to watch
no, I
more
haven't.
Black Mirror.
Okay.
I'm so afraid to watch more. I'm afraid.
But-
Oh, hey, so does that mean we're passing it on to Mr. Wilektron?
No. I wanted to say something about
silence,
I wanted to
folks.
say something about this altered carbon. I was just trying to look up the actress's name.
Oh, it was called She No Wear Clothing.
Did think it was Tits McGee?
She has no clothes on. Barbara of Have No Clothes.
Okay, Martha Hagaldorada?
Why did you say Martha? Why did you say that name?
Why did you say that name?
Hey, Martha, that's not even her.
Good lord, you guys. Crazy people.
Oh, but we all knew it.
Ditchin Lockman. Dichen. Ditchin Lockman. Well, that's his actress's name.
I thought you said Ditchin Black Man.
Anyway, that's this actress's name.
I'm
It's,
like, okay.
I guess it's a Tibetan name, I would guess, or whatever it is. This actress, she's big into sci-fi shows. She's like one of my crushes when it comes to like sci-fi actresses.
I've seen her play on that one show that had Dollhouse. It was called Dollhouse. Did you guys ever watch the show Dollhouse?
Yes,
I
it was a
did
Joss
not.
Whedon show.
It's Joss Whedon show.
Yes, totally saw her. She's played on freaking Dollhouse. That's where I recognize her from. And also another.
By the way,
right.
in this show,
You're
she's
So
like,
right.
yeah.
I
Dollhouse
love
was it-
her.
Do you
What?
think Dollhouse would have been better if it had nudity? Because it.
Well, guess what? You don't need it because she could make up
I
for
feel
all
like
of Dollhouse.
was really good.
Let me tell you
anyways.
something.
But I
Altered
think
Carbon?
his premise was, would have definitely fit nudity into it.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, I liked it, but I'm not like, ooh, got to see more boobs. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So it's kind of, it's not like we ever get the other side.
Anyway,
of the tracks.
if you
Not
wanted
like-
to, Altered
Not like
Carbon
Well, in
covers
Altered
Carbon,
boobs
you
for
kind
like
of do
every
get a
single
little
I
sci-fi
haven't
show
watched that.
for the
I
past
really
5
haven't.
years.
I had to stop after the second episode.
Will Electron and I will have a side convo. Yeah, Will
Sorry.
Electron. I've never watched it.
I'm really
you
sorry.
guys have your boob-centric convo. Will Electron and I are over here like, yeah, I'm not. I'm with you. Like, I think I'm the kind of person when there's overkill, I'm just not buying it. When it's like so much, if it makes me feel weird, I just can't. I'm a snob.
But here's the
when it
thing:
comes
I
to
don't
what
think it's
watch.
weird. I don't think
I'm
it's
such a
weird. I think it
snob.
fits. It fits the show
Yeah,
though.
the
It fits
plot.
what's
You
going
feel
on.
like it's
Yeah.
a plot. It's
Yeah,
not
it fits
like
the
when
plot.
you see someone that says the F word like every other word just because they can, like
Samuel L.
that.
Jackson.
You know what I mean? Like it's like that. Like to me, that's how I look at like videos or movies or shows. Like just because you can do it doesn't mean you have to do it all the time. Like do it tastefully or do it plot driven. So I mean, in this case, it sounds like it does. The plot is really around that. It's to show theoretically to show the other side.
They're changing. No, well, in this show, like they're changing sleeves. So they're changing bodies, and bodies are
So it
called
just
sleeves.
doesn't. Yeah, they're just
So-
supposed to show that they're a throwaway. When
Exactly,
In reality,
exactly.
They really are a throwaway. In our reality, we're just flesh bags, really, in essence, just walking around.
All right,
so
way to
it's just
turn
like-
it real dark. That's cool.
Your
I'm
face is a
realist.
flesh bag.
I'm a painful realist.
Way
We're all just
just raining on everyone's. Actually, no, you peed on everyone's parade just now.
I whipped out my lady schla, and I just peed on your parade. Sorry about that.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, all right.
But
sorry, let's bring it back.
I will
Sorry.
tell you, before Wilektron has a stroke
I'm
from
totally
all this
gonna
like
You're
use-
making Will feel
nudity.
uncomfortable.
I'm totally gonna use your okie dokie as the sounder from when
But-
we need to get back on track. I'm gonna
You know what?
I'm gonna
Feel
cut that
free.
out.
I'm all for
I'm
it.
gonna do it. Because that's perfect. Because that's how I feel like okie dokie.
Okie dokie, we're back
Love
on
it.
track.
Love it. Back
And
on track.
I'm about to buy Far Cry 5.
All right.
It looks really good.
It looks so good.
It's Bethesda level with the number of physics bugs I have seen, though. Like, goodness gracious.
What do you like
Share.
physics bugs?
Well, okay, so never mind. I haven't played it. I've seen plenty of videos though.
Streaming and
Okay.
videos.
Are you
Yes,
talking about like dead bodies freaking out and then flying across the
I'm
fucking
talking
screen?
Kinda like
about
Ark?
a guy throwing a pipe straight up into the air, it hitting him, disappearing, and then everything else in the game, like a truck driving by, just going absolutely ballistic when it's not supposed to.
Ah!
Because there's a pipe stuck in the guy and the engine can't handle the calculations.
Well,
Oh,
sorry
goodness.
for it not being perfect.
Oh, dude, it is one of the funniest things ever. Like, people still enjoy it, and I don't blame them. I'm just, it's Bethesda levels of physics brokenness.
Sorry it's no Duke Nukem.
Dude, you guys, I swear.
That was fantastic.
Well, there are videos made of it. Well, I'm sure you're not the only one who feels this way. Just take comfort in that there's a lot of people that probably feel the same way.
And
you
again,
do.
I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad game, and
Right.
it may be amazing.
It's getting good
just-
reviews.
Yeah.
And it
It's
looks
just-
really good, and it's right up my alley. Like, I like first-person shooters with a story.
Yeah.
Because you really get like enthralled in the story because it's a first-person shooter, you know. So that's why I love those type of games. That's why I loved Wildlands, because it had a really cool story and you got like really just it was like a really awesome storyline.
Ghost
I had a
Recon
good time with
Wildlands?
it. Yeah, Ghost Recon Wildlands. I had such a fun time with that. So I was looking for something, you know. Pixar is going to keep me for a while, but I know in like another week or so I'm going to hit that bump where it's like, all right, I'm pretty good now. I have everything set up. I could kind of break away and play other things, and my sights are set on Far Cry 5.
Alrighty. I have been seeing a lot of people streaming Far Cry 5. It is, what is it, like $60? Is that what it is?
It's $59.99.
$60.
It's
So
not
like-
$60.
so like
It's $59.99.
$60.
No, it's not like. It's not anything.
$60.
It's $59.99.
Plus sales tax, which puts you over $60.
I
Are you
use
one of
my
those
sales.
whack-
I use
are
my
you one of those
exempt
whack
form.
jobs who get mad at the Dollar Tree people because it's a 106 or I don't know what your sales tax is.
No,
in New
I'm
York.
not. I'm not.
In
mad at
Michigan,
that.
it is 6 cents, and there are some nut jobs that go off. On
I'll
the
be
poor
happy to
Dollar
pay
Tree
6
cashiers.
cents for my sales tax. Our sales tax is like 9.3 cents.
That's what I said. I thought it was like 10%.
See,
something.
so that would put you into $60.
Not if I use a tax exempt form.
So this is a visually impressive game that is quoted from Hardcore Gamer.
Yes, the graphics look very cool. But the cool thing about it's about a cult in I think Utah.
Utah. What? Cults don't happen in cults happen. in
Cults.
Utah.
Cults, not the horse.
Not the horses. Horses.
Exactly. Not the
Colt
horse.
Yeah,
happens like
mermaids.
like Montana.
Cults.
Oh my lord.
Cults.
Here
Cults.
we go.
It's them damn mermaids.
Oh my goodness.
There's who mans.
Oh right. Hey, who man?
I thought that was Amish.
I just don't even know. I throw my hands up. Where's my okie doke sounder? Okie dokie. Where is it? We need it now.
Okie doke and
Okey-dokey.
kicky pokey.
Okie dokie. Okay, so you want to get you
Far Cry
are
5.
looking
Get
at
it, Phil.
Far Cry 5.
Yes.
Is it something that you would get, Wilektron? Is it? I mean, all the crazy
I've never
stuff
played any of
aside-
the other Far Cry games.
Okay, I haven't either, but I've been watching some streams and I thought that it looked pretty cool. But it's not
I
my
think
kind of
I
game.
would probably
but
like it, but I'm not sure I would really want to pay. It's the kind of game I would necessarily want to pay for.
Yeah, I can see
So.
that. I can see that. Cool. Well, let us know, foe. We'll find out next week if it's something you're gonna pull the trigger at, Mr. Far Cry 5.
Oh, I'm
We're gonna
pulling
get
it,
that.
baby.
Are you?
I might even. You know what? I might even.
We'll
do
take
it
your
right
word
now.
for it. Oh, okay, you do it.
Oh boy.
Don't tell me how to live my
You
life.
do you, bro.
We are telling you, okay? Okie dokie, we're telling you. Alright.
Okay. All right.
Okie dokie.
Okay, Wilektron, you are up to bat. What do you have for us this evening?
All right, so just a couple small things. So a game called Crusader Kings 2 is free on Steam through the weekend until April 9th. And what this game is a game by Paradox, which if any of you have heard of Paradox, you probably know that they like to make what is called grand strategy games. And these are games where you basically start. It's kind of like an RTS, except it's like turn-based in the background, but it's basically real time. And you
turn-based or real time?
Say again?
Is it turn-based or real time?
It's
turn-based
real
or real time?
It's effectively real time.
Thank you.
So
I was confused as well, Wilektron. He's like, is it turn-based or real time? Is it turn-based or real time? Is it turn-based or real time?
He said it's turn-based, but it's real time.
Introvert ball here because I don't know what's being said.
He said it's turn-based, but it's real time. I'm just curious which one it is.
So it's turn-based in the background, but the turns are like effectively so fast that it's essentially real time. So
we're not playing Far Cry 5 right now.
So if you look away, so if you like walk away, your turn ends.
No, it just keeps running.
Oh, okay.
You can pause it, but it keeps running. Things don't technically happen exactly simultaneously. Anyway, it's effectively real time, so let's just get past that. Anyway,
right.
It's a strategy game. It is a real time strategy game, but not in the sense of like StarCraft or whatever, where you've got a bunch of little units running around and blowing up stuff and things like that. No, what these games are is you start with a certain faction and you build up your empire over time to take over the region or the world, or either by attacking or diplomacy or things like that. So this particular game, I will actually read, and this is a game that was released in February of 2012, but it is a very highly rated game. It has over 25,000 reviews on Steam, and with very positive, so 89% of the reviews for the game are positive. So 89 on Metacritic, so it's pretty well shaken out to be a good game. So the idea is that you can start a game at any point between the years 1066 and 1337 and play until 1453. You pick a Christian lord and make sure his dynasty survives as you play a succession of his descendants through the ages. Gain prestige for every successive character you play, furthering the glory of your dynasty. Expand your feudal domain and keep it from falling apart. Unravel the plots of your courtiers and vassals, each with their own opinions and agendas. Take up the cross and fight the Moor, the heathen, and the heretic. Defend against the onslaught of the Mongol horde. Struggle with the Pope for control of the bishops. And relive the Middle Ages with up to 32 players in a competitive multiplayer mode. But mostly these kinds of games are meant to be single player. You've got like this faction that you build up over time, and there's, like I said before, diplomacy, battling, general conquest, different factions that you have to talk to and fight with, and all of that kind of thing. So I haven't played a lot of grand strategy myself. What got me into Humble Bundle was several months ago, almost a year ago now, I think, not quite. There was a game by Paradox called Stellaris, which is a grand strategy game but set in space instead of being like a medieval empire type of thing. And so I was like, oh, well, I've had my eye on that game for a while, and it's only $12 with the Humble Monthly, so I'll just sign up. And then I didn't turn it off because it had other things that I was interested in.
I think it's the same time and reason that I got my Humble Monthly.
There you go. But yeah. So these games are interesting. They're very complex and in depth, but from what I've heard, they can be extremely rewarding too, if you like that kind of thing. So it's free. Check it out. I see no reason why not to just add it to your Steam library.
I am installing it as we speak.
Awesome. I'm then
to see how
also,
it is.
On top of that, DLCs are 50% off during the sale.
Ooh.
I actually did have one more thing to say.
Yeah, go for it.
Which may, depending on when the show gets out, may not be relevant by the time it is done. But the Splatoon 2 Splatfest for this month is on Saturday. And
what's the theme?
So
is
today's
soccer
the 5th.
versus baseball.
So the 7th. It comes out on the 7th, or yeah.
Let's see. April 2018 Splatfest. Let me look that up. Wish. Oh, yeah. It starts at April 6th at 9 p.m. So tomorrow night at 9 p.m. And when does it end? I don't know when it ends. Anyway, it lasts for like 24 hours. So, or 48 hours. I don't know which. But it starts tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Pacific time. Oh, so midnight Eastern time. So Saturday, early as you can get on Saturday morning. And I think it goes for about 24 hours. Either that
soccer versus baseball.
Yep.
I thought the ketchup versus mayonnaise was way better.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, they've got
I want a sandwich.
They've got different themes.
I want
so
get in the kitchen and make a sandwich.
Guess what? I have a coffee roll.
I was going to say, where's
Dunking
Mossy
into
when
my
you need
tea
him?
right now.
He's sleeping.
I have a coffee roll.
So, if anybody has a Nintendo Switch and Splatoon 2, go ahead and check it out.
Cinnabon.
There's a kind of a large scale competitive event that's going to be happening this weekend.
So get your splat on. Get your splat on. All
right.
All right, that's all.
Well, all these links are in the show notes, including the ones I'm going to talk about right now. Okay. I finished up the season of The Gifted. Oh my god, I can't wait till the second one. I really love this show. I really love this whole thing. I love it.
When's it supposed to come out?
The second, I have been stalking the internet. I haven't got an actual confirmation.
Because I think Legion is coming out soon. It's starting again, second season.
Maybe there's alternating, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe. That would kind of make sense.
Yeah, because The Gifted was really good. So if you can get that season 1, eat that up. And then because it's at that time right now where season finales are appearing and new shows are starting. So I said goodbye to The Gifted and I said hello to the Siren.
You should say hello, Santa Clarita's Diet.
No, I haven't made that plunge yet. I haven't made that yet because I found this one. It's called The Siren. It's on Freeform. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. So it's a cable network show.
No, I haven't heard of that bootleg channel.
Freaking love this. This is a really good show so far. Oh my god, episode 3 is out, so I know what I'm going to be watching. Yay!
Santa Clarita's Diet, also season 2 just dropped. You might want to watch it.
Yeah, I still need to watch that.
Yeah, I do have Netflix. I know it's there. Speaking of Netflix, I'm freaking back in the Joe McHale boat. I love the Joe McHale show on the Netflix. I love that. Totally just because he had Drew Barrymore on from the San Clarita's.
Guess who's just about to say, guess what she's in, but you know.
Yeah. Yep. So the Joe McHale show's on. I love that show. Did you ever watch him when he had his show on E? It was called The Soup or Talk Soup or whatever.
Yep.
Love it. Now he's on Netflix. Love it.
Did you watch him in Community?
I didn't watch Community. I don't know why. I think it was one of those things that it was just another spinoff like The Office. I'm the contrarian. When everybody likes it, I don't want to watch it because I don't want to follow all those people. So then I go my own way. I'm a contrarian. Wow. I am the opposite person. But
so even if it's good, you're like, I refuse.
Because I have so many things I want to watch, and the louder people cry, like how amazing something is, I'm like, well, it's amazing. I don't need to check it out.
You know what show really sucks? Santa Clarita's Diet. That show is terrible.
I don't know why anyone would want to watch that thing.
Like, do not watch that show. Don't do it.
I've always been this way. Even when I was little and the Titanic came out, and everybody's like, oh, this is an amazing movie. And I'm like, how do you guys not know how this ends?
Don't get me started on that movie. There was enough room for Rose and him on that door.
Gosh.
I love
that
you.
door
Don't
fit the both of them.
She murdered him. That's plain and simple.
So anyways.
Some way to start the relationship.
Okie dokie, guys.
It's like, this diamond is mine. Oh, mine.
All right. So the Siren, it's on Freeform. I have Xfinity cable, so I think it's just like a Freeform is their own cable channel. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but I really like it because it's about mermaids, and I can't find the actual about thingy.
And the dude whose family murdered them?
Have you watched it?
No, they ruined that on a commercial.
Damn you! So you know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what it is, it's takes apart in this little kind of a coastal town, and you think of mermaids or Ariel. These chicks are not like Ariel. These chicks eat humans if you piss them off.
Well, that's what I think of when I think of mermaids.
Greek mermaid.
I know.
Listen, when you're talking to role players,
Siren for a reason.
It's called
so yeah.
Siren, and it's really good.
When you're talking to role players, that's what we think of mermaids. Like they eat men. Like they lure them in with their siren's call and their sexiness, and they devour their soul.
I feel like this is something that's very personal to you. I feel like you have had this happen because you have a little too many details.
No,
He's like,
but I know where they're
really
coming
win
from.
with their sexiness.
The sexiness and their siren song.
Yeah, I really like it. The third episode is apparently it just came out. I think it was tonight, actually. So it's on my DVR. But it starts with like the beginning of the show where these like kind of fishermen trap one of the mermaids in his net. You know how it goes, right?
I know how they do.
You know how it happens. But so they trap the mermaids in the net, and then the mermaid gets really ticked off, and maybe she attacks one of the guys, and then all of a sudden this helicopter like flies over the boat and like lowers down, and it's like some like army navy people come in, steal the mermaid person in a box and take her off into the sky with the guy she injured, takes him off into the sky. Ironically, I remember his name is Chris. For some weird reason I remember his name. So they take the mermaid
What up, Chris?
and Chris off into the sky, and they fly him away. So then, all of a sudden, this very sketchy looking chick shows up into town, and she cannot speak any English or any language for that matter. And she just randomly, it's like she lives in my town because we're so far away from things. She like starts stealing people's clothes from their clotheslines, putting them on. Looks like she's kind of blending in, but the whole fact that she can't really talk kind of makes her look still a little weird. She gets into a car, like she never seen a car before because this is pretty much her first time on land. She's trying to find her sister, which was carried off with Chris in the helicopter by some sketchy military people from some unknown place. And so that's where the story starts, where she just wants her sister back. But people who get in her way, they don't last very long. And the people who are trying to help her, they're also in this show, they're also very quick learners. So she starts to really kind of pick up on the language and what they're trying to tell her. So right now she has 3 friends. That's these 2, it's a couple, a boyfriend and a girlfriend that work at this marina, and they're really into all the like sea lions and stuff in the area and rehabilitating them and stuff. And then there's a shop owner who knows the history of the town, because she's older and she's lived there forever, and she's just kind of like, that's her thing. She likes to know everything that happened. And the son that works at the marina, his family is like the rich people of the town, and he's kind of like the black sheep that doesn't want to conform to the rich people in the town. But his family has a dark history where they were wiping out the mermaids way back in the day. But right now they celebrate the Mermaid Festival like it's this amazing thing, but really they were the jackwagons who were pretty much doing a genocide of all the mermaids back in the day. So he learns a lot about his heritage, and she learns a lot about, how to kind of blend in. Yeah. So it's only right now, the 3rd episode just dropped. I like it a lot. So it's pretty good. And so that's what I have replaced now that the Magicians has ended. That's on Sci-Fi. That said, see you later. I've been actually...
That's another show I got to get back into.
The
last I watched...
God. This is good.
Was when... I think I've seen like the first 2 seasons. That's it.
Well,
this is...
I think I only saw the first season because I think that's all that was on Netflix at the time.
Now,
I might have seen the first one also.
The third one, I think. Is it the third one? I can't remember. And then the other show that I'm just starting is Krypton on Sci-Fi. So that has not failed me. That has been really good so far too. That's also, I think I've only seen 2 episodes. I think the 3rd one just landed last night. I watched that. I didn't get into game until late. Everybody was off, but Luminen and Falloon were on. So we were rocking it out because I just could not get off. I could not get off the couch. I just wanted to watch Krypton and the Magicians. Season finale of the Magicians, and then Krypton was on. So I'm like, I'm not moving. Pixark, I can get to you in a second. And then gaming, been playing Pixark. And I tried some jackwagon mobile game called Homescapes, and I got bored after a day. I'm really not feeling mobile games right now. They're either games, a lot of the games that I would rather play on my PC are on mobile, and I'm like, I don't want to play them on mobile. I want to play them on my PC, so why would I want to play with you? And then the other games, they're like stalkers, like the Homescapes or the Sims and that shit they stalk you. They're like, Homescapes, before I even start ranting about it, I thought it looked cool, except for you are stuck helping this midlife, this butler guy. Yeah, have you played it at all?
Yeah, I've gotten through a few levels. I mean, it's a match 3 game.
It's okay, but it's just not. I mean, I don't have a lot of time that I'm like, if I'm gonna game, I'd rather game on my computer than I would on my phone or my tablet. But if you're a commuter, I can see where these things are probably more up your alley. I don't like being harassed by people or by video games, and I don't like Austin constantly messaging me, "Come back, I want a kitten. Play this game, you can get me a kitten." I just like, fuck you, Austin. I don't want to get you a kitten. Shut up, go away. So I have to install. I do not like being harassed by games. Like, come back, win me a new chair for my house. Get lost, loser. Go away. I have no sympathy for Austin. And plus, I mean, have you looked at the house? The whole thing that you have to do, it's called Homescapes. You have to help Austin the butler bring warmth and comfort back to his wonderful family's mansion. These weirdos, there's not just love and comfort. These people were lazy people. Their whole house is trashed. I'm okay to help someone, but if it's a hoarder situation, you're on your own. These people are freaking hoarders. It's a hoarding, right, Cricket? You've seen the house. It is a hot mess. And I'm sorry, Austin. At first I thought Austin was a little selfish. He was only focusing on his bedroom. Hell yeah. If I was Austin, I'd be focusing on cleaning up my bedroom first too, because I'm a middle-aged man. My hairline's receding. My parents are freaking hoarders and they want me to help them fix their house. And it's not just a house, it's a mansion. It is a mansion of hell.
So you haven't gotten far enough. When you start fixing up the house, then his parents say, you know what? We're selling the house. You're going to have to be out of here by tomorrow or something like that.
I would disown them immediately. I did all of this work. And the thing is, I thought this game was going to be cool because you can do puzzles. You do puzzles. It's kind of like Tetris. You do these little puzzles and you match things up and you get little points, and then you use those points to unlock or repair or buy new versions of shit that's in his parents' broken down house. So that would really irritate me then if they'd be like, "Oh, sorry, Austin, everything you just did was for nothing. Now we're selling the house." I'm so glad I uninstalled, so not feeling it. If you're a glutton for punishment, download Homescapes. That's all I have to say. And then I've been playing Pixark, but we're going to be doing a Rated Arc Pixark episode tomorrow night, so ratedarc.com if you want to know more about Pixark tomorrow. So yeah. But what were you going to say? I'm done.
Well, I was just saying it's one of those, like any of those, if you want a match 3 game, it's as good as any of the others.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm not really done. Ark Survival Evolved, Easter Dinos, I've been going in and hunting me out some. And I really love the Easter Dino colors way more than Valentine's Day. I thought the Valentine's Day dinos were cool before the Easter dinos were released. That is so cool.
There's so much pastel.
No, dude, they're like turquoise and purple and yellow and orange, and it's just yellow, pastel yellow. It was really cool. Different shades that you don't really see. I was digging it. So if nobody has anything else to add, that means we're going to move to last call.
It's closing time.
Here we go.
It's closing time.
Man, you super cut it.
Yeah, that was like closing time.
Oh my god, sorry, I didn't hold the button down. Here we go.
It's closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can stay here.
It's
Those
right.
are the super short edition.
I know, right? We are the Cross Realm Gaming Group. If you want to join us in the podcast we produce, which is this one and Rated Arc, and if you want to join us in the games we talk about, or you want to talk about some games and all that jazz, you can join us at crossrealmrebellion.com and hop in the Discord and join us on the show and join us in the Discord, all that jazz. So that's what I have. And then we got some Would You Rathers on key or whatever, but does anybody have any shout outs they want to give?
I'll give a shout out to you
Do it.
guys and the CRR crew. Ever since I've been here, everybody's been making me feel super comfortable. Everybody is super chill. And it's been a whole lot of fun since I got here. So
You definitely blend right in. You really do. It feels like we've known you forever.
Yeah. I guess
think
you have
that's
only
the
been
cool
here a short
thing,
period
right?
of time, yeah.
I joined, it was back in November, but I think it was November. But I didn't actually dip into the Discord until January or December-ish.
And
even then, I didn't really talk to people.
Right.
So, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's just my own shyness.
I think everybody has a little bit of that. So once you get over that, you can join us. All right. Well, hey, if there's any other way you get accustomed to people, it's by playing Would You Rather.
Are you calling Chuck Norris a liar?
Would you rather?
Oh, it's a humdinger.
Oh, wow.
Would you rather?
Tell me what? Oh my god.
Oh my god, that would be so weird.
No, let's not go there.
Why did I ask this?
Oh, my goodness. No.
Would you rather? Would you rather?
Oh, right. Bing.
My mic was muted, so what's the last thing you guys heard me talk about?
I heard you say nothing. So what did
Yeah,
Wait
wait a minute.
Wait,
you
you
have
mean
a last call? Is
you
that
mean
what
Will's
said?
actually been in the chat?
I
Yeah.
didn't hear ya. What did you say? What was the last thing you remember saying?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I don't know when I was last on.
So what's something that you really felt you needed us to hear that we did not reply to you?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I was gonna comment on Big Blue not talking for a while, and I was gonna say that, for my part, I didn't even talk to anyone until I was like, hey, I've listened to enough Rated Arc that I can, talk with them about the game and all this stuff. So,
Right.
That's
I know.
fair.
I feel like we do a pretty good job at being realistic, like come on in, join us. I might be a little forward and I prod you, come on, come on, join us. You know
Get
what I
your
mean?
shit together.
Yeah, come on. Slap you around a little bit, no. But yeah, we really do have an open door kind of policy unless you're an asshole. Not the cool asshole, but the stinky one, I don't know if I'm stinky.
Yeah, cause,
I like cool assholes, funny ones, but not stinky.
yeah, 'cause that reminds me of my brother.
I like cool assholes too, so I don't like to be hot in my underwear.
Yeah, I know. We don't like monkey butt up in here.
It's like sitting on
CSE.
ice cubes.
Yeah,
you
we
were
like
talking
ice
about that,
cubes.
and that reminds me because my brother was, he was finally joining yesterday.
Yay!
And
Yeah,
he
he did join us.
Who's
He
your
was reading the
brother?
gaming Sarama.
Oh, okay.
So he's the one who just joined in yesterday because, he doesn't play Arc, but he plays stuff like Overwatch and PUBG, so some of the other games that we play. But I gave him the site, and then he was reading the gaming group rules before joining because that's what it said you should do. And he was just laughing at some of the rules. I mean, not that he's going to be a troll or anything about this stuff, not any more than I am. But he was laughing at some of them about do not post political, religious, or personal views against certain races, genders, or lifestyles.
We have to put that because I don't want any Nazis in my gaming group.
Time to take
And
a
I
shower.
will leave this in the show.
I forget there was another one that he was
I
just
think it's
laughing at.
because, as Cross-Realm Rebellion Gaming Group, we want to connect on the things we have in common and not fight over the things we don't. That's our mission.
Yep.
So let's cut, and that's gaming. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear what you don't like about me. I want to hear about what we have in common. And I think that's how we need to get through in our real world is stop playing the game that's forced on us. Let's start really focusing on the fun stuff. because there's a lot of shit we have in common. Let's stop being little bitches and focusing on the stuff that we don't have in common.
Yeah,
That's
And
the
also, a
mission
lot of
the
that
gaming
stuff can
group.
make people feel super uncomfortable.
I know.
That's
I
not
know
really
what
what this is about.
One of the things also that he laughed at, which I can't find it right now, but it was the one oh there we go. If you enter
I
the
have
voice
an
chat,
answer for everything.
if you enter the voice chat under the influence of a substance, you are still held accountable for your actions. Your lack of memory, your lack of memory for your behavior due to your mental state is not an excuse to repeatedly offend those around you. You are one.
We have yes.
There's a specific reason behind that.
He'll just laugh at the way it's worded and all
Hell
that stuff.
yeah, because it's me, man. I am. You cannot out. You yeah. It's. You do not out bullshit a bullshitter. I'm a loophole finder, so I will try. And I know that we have to make these rules because we've had situations. You know what I mean? We've had people that roll in and be like, blah, 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 and they're like, I'm so sorry. Like, I was totally drunk that night. I don't remember saying this at all. I'm like, sorry, not my problem. Have a nice day. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You gotta keep the streets clean.
Elitist,
you keep
negative,
pooping in my road. I keep shoveling it to the side. You're gone. Have a nice day.
Elitist, negative, and selfish attitudes must be left at the virtual door.
Yeah, because we really don't like people who love to smell their own shit, and that's all they want to talk about. Because come on, who likes that? Who really likes hearing people toot their own horn 24/7? Nobody.
I'm way too awesome. I'm just saying.
Nobody.
Yeah,
Nobody likes that.
I agree with it all, and I just like I said, just find them a little.
You have
little
to know.
humorous.
Yeah, it's totally me making all those. I like after so long of dealing with assholes, you know, I'm going to call you out by every little make and model of asshole there is, and I don't want you up in here. We've done really well, haven't we, Foe? Haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
We've done really well. Like attracts like. That's all that matters.
And, you know, some of those
Like
things are in
attracts
place
like.
because they've happened. Like
They've happened! Completely
Exactly.
happened.
Yeah.
Well, it's how you get those oddly specific laws. You know,
Yes,
something
because it
happened,
happens.
and there's a sign for that reason.
Exactly.
So-
It's like when you look at a shampoo bottle, it says "Don't eat"
Yes!
because somebody ate it and they got sick
Or
and they
now
sued
they're
the
going to put it on
company.
Tide Pods. 'cause-
Exactly.
No.
And
Yes.
condoms,
Or
do not
condoms.
snort.
And
Yes.
yeah, condoms.
Yes, totally,
and also
100%.
consequence for being a repeated jackhole. And I was just saying that it was surprising that it says jackhole as opposed
I
to
had
jack
to
wagon.
keep it PC. Yeah,
No, as
'cause that was
opposed to jack
probably
wagon.
back-
I was thinking it's jack
yeah,
wagon is
I
the
should
common
change it
term.
to jack wagon now.
I think
bring it
Jack
up to
Wagon
date.
is something of a recent development.
Yeah, my jack hole has morphed into a jack wagon, and then recently a whack jaggin. You know, we flopped.
It
back.
evolved.
Exactly.
Exactly. So yeah, that's good though. Yes, that's good that he found humor in our rules. That's awesome. So what else is awesome is Would You Rather?
Are you calling Chuck Norris a liar?
Would you rather?
Oh, it's a humdinger.
Oh, wow.
Would you rather?
Tell me what? Oh my god.
Oh my god, that would be so weird.
No, let's not go there.
Why did I ask this?
Oh, my goodness. No.
Would you rather? Would you rather?
Bing! Alright, Fo, give us your Would You Rather. And if I
Okay.
need to do like a luminance sounder or something because for sensitive people.
It's not that bad.
Okay. Alright, give it to
Okay,
us.
so this came up at my job the other day.
Oh no.
So, you know, you get a bunch of dudes, you know, working all day, and
Oh,
you guys,
yeah.
you know, stupid stuff comes up. So this one dude
Never.
finds a piece of like dry poop up on the roof
Oh,
because we had to
for
change
the
out this
love of
vent.
the
So first of all, how did the poop get up there? Someone threw it up there, right? So, because it wasn't like bird poop, it was like either dog poop or human poop. Who knows?
Oh my god.
And it was all dry. And he's like, "Yo, I bet you if you put this in the microwave, it would re-smell. Like it would smell again."
What
Right?
are you guys smoking?
I bet
Wait,
you
this
you
is
could
something
get the
that came
smell
up?
out of this, right? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, would you?
God.
I was like, I don't know if you would microwave poop if you could like reanimate it because this one's like dry. Like once it's dried out, I think it's
Reanimate it.
dried out, right? He's like,
gonna
make it
come back to
soft
life.
again and smelly.
Oh my god.
Because right now it's dry. If I was like, first of all, I'm not gonna ever eat out of that microwave that you put that poop in. Like that's first and foremost. Second of all, we never did it. You know, he just took it and he chucked it off the roof, which now probably hit somebody down the bottom.
Oh gosh.
So anyway, so
Good lord.
So we were talking but if I was like, if you did reanimate that poop, wonder how bad it would probably be one of the most horrendous things you ever smelled in your whole life. So
Did
then
you
he's
say
like,
Did you say
smoke or
smoke?
smell?
Smelled.
I
Smelled.
totally thought he said
Smelled.
smoked.
I thought he said smoked. I was wondering what he
smelled.
was
Get
smoking.
your minds out of the gut.
Talk really slow. I have to pee. Be right back.
Whoa, how slow should we Oh.
How slow can you
I
go?
just have to say, I totally heard smoked.
How slow?
We all heard smoked.
It wasn't smoked.
I mean, I didn't hear smoked, but okay.
Thank you.
Kiss ass.
So you say.
It is Will. I'm just saying.
Hey now.
Now.
How long have you known me?
I love you too, bro.
22 days.
About that, yeah, maybe.
22 days until something.
Three podcasts, something like that.
I feel like I've known you my whole life.
Are those 9 podcasts?
You haven't reached the depths.
Well, anyway, so we didn't put this poop in the microwave because that would have been disgusting. But we were discussing on how awful that smell would be to like reanimate it and like get the stink again. It would be disgusting. So then we were coming up with different would you rathers, you know, like would you rather smell that dog poop or this, right? So I'm gonna give you guys one of the would you rathers.
Oh boy.
So would you rather?
Are we waiting for Esme or?
Yeah, she should be here in right about now.
Soon.
No, it didn't happen.
Okay.
Now.
Yeah.
Now.
P.
Oh, what? Did she just what?
Totally back.
Oh.
Now.
She's back.
Are you back?
So what? Where are we?
Okay, so we
He was
didn't
about to
reanimate the
announce what it
poop.
was.
We didn't reanimate the dog poop. Didn't happen. But we were
Okay.
freaked out about how bad it would smell. And
Well,
then we
who
started.
in their right minds would freaking microwave some poop? Unknown poop.
Nobody, but he was like, he brought it up. I was like, he's like, it's all dried out. He's like, he thought it was weird that poop gets so dried and the smell goes away. I was like, yeah, that would be gross. He's like, but I bet you could bring it back by putting it in the microwave.
He wants to like necromance fecal matter.
Exactly.
He wants to rehydrate poop.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, no.
Is this a new person or have you worked with him for a while?
I've been working on him for quite a while. Well, anyway,
So where are we on this? What you
so
He was about to.
I was going to say, so would you rather, A, you put in the dog poop in the microwave and you reanimate it. As soon as it's done, you got to open that thing up and take the biggest whiff. Like, stick your head in the microwave and suck in the biggest whiff of this now reanimated poop.
reanimated poop? I have. Oh my god! I don't even know.
Or
I know. I almost feel like it wouldn't reanimate.
Oh, maybe not.
It
Well-
probably would.
Well, here's the thing. Like, it's dried out, right? So that's why it doesn't
You
stink.
need to add water, clearly.
No, like you would
Exactly.
sprinkle a little. If you're trying to reanimate, you would sprinkle some water on it. You know,
Yeah.
you wouldn't just throw it in dry. That would make no sense.
But
You would burn the poop.
the smell would be there. And what microwave are you using?
and
Can I pick whose microwave I use?
Anyway, let's see the alternative. Maybe.
Yeah, okay,
it's not where
Okie dokie.
the
We need an
microwave.
alternative.
It's just a random microwave. No one cares like what
No,
microwave.
that's a big component. To
Well, you don't
this
want it to
whole
be your own
reanimation.
microwave, obviously.
I want it to be a microwave of my choice. That's what I want.
All right,
So
so
your
like
neighbors?
a Wendy's microwave,
No, I have nothing
like a
against
restaurant
Wendy's.
industrial like strength microwave.
a restaurant heat lamp.
I'm trying to think. Do I have an enemy or a nemesis? Doesn't really feel like I do anymore. I
Both could be
feel
the same.
like I want it to be a very preppy, snobby, egotistical person's microwave.
What about a frenemy?
I really don't have those. I'm a get off the bus. You're either on the bus or you're off the bus. I really don't
Well,
have
This
half
bus,
breeds.
this bus has its own
half
microwave.
enemy, half
So
friends around me.
this bus has its own microwave. So that's the one we're using. So we reanimate.
You're on
the
a
poop.
bus with this
Yeah.
person.
Why
I'm on
not?
a boat.
Why not?
I'm on a boat as
I'm on a
well.
boat.
Okay.
I'm on a kayak.
You guys can be wherever you want to be when you do this.
So what's the
I'm.
so that's
What's the second one?
the
Or-
A.
I feel
have
like we've
to
turned
put
this
on-
into a D&D. Oh.
You have
Goodness
to put
gracious.
on. You have to put on a plastic mask that's attached to a funnel, like the asthma masks, like a nebulizer mask.
A nebulizer.
But the tube is in a very sweaty man's armpit. You have to keep it on for about
Damn.
25 minutes.
So we have two options, right?
One strong whiff of your head being in the microwave of the reanimated poop, or 25 minutes with a nebulizer mask with the tube in a guy's armpit.
How long was the poop again? Sorry.
How
Just a
long
whiff.
was it?
It's just
Just a
about
whiff.
A full lung.
About 4 or 5 inches long.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a mom, so I feel like I'm really geared towards fecal matter. So I'm going to still take the fecal matter over the unusual. Dude, there are smells that I cannot unsmell, and I live with them every day of my life. So I feel like
Are
I
you
can
talking
do
about
this.
Aussie or the littles?
I feel like all of them, my dogs, my husband, my kids, I have been very acclimated to the entire fecal world. So I feel like, in my heart of fecal hearts, that I could totally ride this one out in the fecal zone. I don't think I want to smell the armpit. No. So that's mine. My choice.
I think I would be riding high in the fecal zone as well.
Are you?
Just for a similar
Hop
type
on
of
in
reason.
the passenger seat of the fecal car.
I mean, I'm a father. I've
Oh.
smelled my fair share of poops, especially, you have that first...
Foreshadowing.
You have
I
those
feel like
first
reanimated
solid,
poop would be way worse.
Those first...
No, I really don't
know.
think so. I
the
feel
fir-
like
that
it would be
first
like
solid...
smelling Taco Bell.
That first solid food poop from the kids, ooh,
Yeah.
that is one of the worst things I've
The
smelled.
tar poop, the shooting poop.
Yeah, I've been through all of it as well.
And I also just don't think that it would actually be that smelly based upon how microwaves work, because all they really do is excite the
They're
particles.
like cooking, though. They're cooking it in essence.
So in
not really
essence, you're
cooking it,
smelling an
it's-
excited poop.
Yes, it's just exciting the atoms, and if the bacteria that is what causes the smell is already gone and dead, then it might not smell all that bad. Definitely,
Yeah,
probably.
I don't know.
I'll take the armpit.
Where's the smelly
You're
armpit?
gonna
It's
see
definitely-
Wilektron's not
really?
buying what we're
I
selling.
see,
He is totally diving in the armpit.
Like I cannot handle that. Like I will vomit with just a whiff of it. I can't even hardly
You
clean up my.
have
I
no
couldn't even
idea.
hardly clean up my dog's stuff.
You
Oh no, I
are
have
going
an
to be a
idea.
very
No,
strong,
I have an
strong
idea.
man.
My dachshund just sprayed
Someday.
poop all over the entire laundry room one time. The
Ew,
entire
that's
thing.
The worst. Liquid
I could
chocolate
not
ice cream,
do
soft
it.
serve all
I
over
could
the
not
place.
do it.
Horrible.
I was not able
But-
to do it. My mom had to do it all. I couldn't do it. I was
I'm
going
telling
to
you
just
right
throw up
now,
and make it worse.
you say this right now, but someday, if you have kids, someday you have no choice. You get in those little beautiful brown trenches and you do the best you can, and that's all you got. I'm telling you.
Or
You don't even know.
It doesn't have
You
to
don't
be
even
kids.
know
It could be
what you're
your
capable
wife,
of right
dude,
now.
or your
Oh my
husband, whatever. Like alcohol sometimes could be a hell of a thing.
Did he say oh my, he said alcohol sometimes could be a hell of a thing. Is that how you got through it, Poe?
That's how I got through it.
I swear to God. Now it's like if I'm doing a butt check on my son, and there might be a possibility that he's 4, and he's doing the whole potty
This is the
thing.
thing.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
and he
remember
wants you to look at every increment of his nether regions once he does
including
a
his
bowel
ball
movement.
sack.
Yes, including his ball sack to make sure that it is clean. Yeah, sometimes he farts in your face just because it's hilarious. And sometimes you are wiping his butt and you're like, maybe there's something on my finger. And then that used to weird you out, but then you're like, it's just poop. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, that's
and then
another
you
thing. My
obviously
friend,
wash your hands, but you're not so freaked out by the thought
I had
that
a
it might be
friend-
poop.
See,
but you
no,
would
no.
have been.
So, okay, so it's not.
We're all
It
scorned,
is not
Wilektron, that's what I'm
necessarily
trying to say.
the texture or anything like that.
It's the knowing.
No, it is the smell. I cannot do
You will.
that.
You will. You will.
I know.
And
So,
your wife
no,
will laugh
I-
at
And
you.
I'll make it worse because I'll
I
vomit.
will back him up on this one because I've gone through
It's
2
the
children
smell.
now, and I cannot handle poop still. It makes me ill. It makes me gag. I throw up. It is the worst.
But if it's just you, though, the show must go on. That's what we're saying. The show must go on. Nobody else is going to clean that shit up. If your wife is at work, you're on your own, buddy.
You throw him in
Sorry.
a shower.
Sorry.
You should throw him in the
Suck it
shower,
up,
spray him
Buttercup.
down.
Get the
now
show
here's the
moving.
thing. Talking about kids farting just because it's funny.
It is
So
funny.
my little guy, I have a friend over, right? And his wife came by too, and she's kind of annoying. So my son came in, ran in the
She
room.
listens to this podcast.
He ran in the room with a smile on his face, right?
What did you say?
And she was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And he turned around and busted out a fart, like right in front of her, right? And he ran away laughing, like it was the
Yes!
funniest thing in the
That's
world, right?
what my son's doing now.
So I kind of laughed a little bit too. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like
so
their new thing.
she has this look, like just utter, like she's like, "Oh my god, if my son ever did that, I don't know what I would like. First of all, that's because your son's going to be a freaking serial killer when he gets older because you're like appalled by things that kids find funny.
She doesn't have kids, does she?
Yeah, that's the thing. You cross over. Once you cross over, you know. It's like the decoder markers when we were growing up. Like,
first of all, I love having that friend who doesn't have kids, and they're like, when I have kids, my kids are never gonna. I was like, all right, I want to talk to you about 2 years after you have children.
Let's record this conversation.
But it is.
Because admittedly, I was one of those people. I used to say the same thing.
Yeah, everybody
was. I'm gonna be like this. I'm gonna be like that. This is not gonna happen. Listen, I'm now laughing at my son farting in a woman's face. It was funny.
So I have a friend whose son just turned 1, and she used to be like one of those people that, oh, when I have kids, this, and this, and now she has a kid, and she is not doing what she said.
Of course, no one does. Nobody.
Especially, I mean, yeah, because there's just only so much you're going to try to fight. Kids cannot be reasoned with like adults can.
So does that mean you're sucking in the fart then? So does that mean you're sucking in the fart?
Exactly, because this is exactly perfect timing because my husband said, you know what our son just did to me? And keep in mind he's only 4, so this really makes me feel like my future is going to be very interesting because he's only 4 and he's already plotting things such as, hey, Daddy, I feel like I have poop stuck in my crack. And my husband leans over and looks, and just then my 4-year-old son farts in his face on purpose. So he's that much of a jackass.
Oh, that's fantastic.
At 4, we are in for it.
She lured him in.
We are lured him in for it. Yes, I said, this is what we get. This is what we get for you and me having kids. This is what we get. This is our own doing. We did this to ourselves. Like, I feel like we should have procreated with more innocent people with no sense of humor, people with no ability to find loopholes and find funniness and poop. I feel like we did this to ourselves. Because, like, if he's 4 and already premeditating, like, flatulence by luring in an unsuspecting victim by
was it drive-by farting?
We're in for it. This is the thing. So welcome, Wilektron. This is your future. You just don't know it yet.
Oh, I know it. I just
I'm telling you, the funniest thing in my life right now is watching my husband dry heave vomit over my daughter's first poopy diaper because he was the same way as you guys. The whole thought of actually coming in contact with poop nauseated him. He is a hunter and a fisherman. He can do all that stuff. But when you think about like changing an innocent little precious little baby girl's nasty diaper, he was dry heaving like a champion, and I was laughing my ass off across the room because I had no sympathy, none whatsoever. It was the funniest thing in my life, like I've ever seen.
There was a couple of times where I told my girl, hilarious. I'm like, we got to stop feeding this kid baby food because what the hell is in this shit?
It gets worse without the baby food, though.
I don't think it gets that
hilarious.
worse.
Well, at least to start with, those first few after they get real person food is just the worst.
You guys ever have that one diaper shit where like they're just gonna shit and it's gonna go up their back? It's just gonna pile up and just squeeze out like toothpaste up their back.
I don't know. Yes, and I'm just telling you right now, we should probably move on to because we're gonna scare a lot of people away from either like having kids or they're gonna be constipated.
Well, or we're gonna have all the parents going. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and every parent
people that know exactly what we're saying is the truth.
It was the same thing as one of the comedians I had listened to said a similar thing at the beginning of his show. All the parents that are listening to the show are going to be agreeing with me, and if you're not a parent, think of this as an hour and a half of birth control.
Exactly.
Let me tell you something. My girl used to get so mad at me because I would wake up for work.
You don't want to suck up your nose.
I would wake up for work and I would get our babies fed in the morning before I left because I know she has to deal with them the whole rest of the day. And there would be so many times where like I'll be walking out the door and I'll be like, all right, babe, later. And she's like, all right, bye, honey. And I'm like, oh, by the way, I think he has a poopy diaper, and I'll dip and I'll just shut the door and I jump in the car.
Yeah. Oh yes. I would do that whole like I'm vacuuming.
She's like,
over
you
here.
think or do you know? It's like, no, I know.
Love you later.
Crazy. Love you later. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
So you'll be happy to know that my would you rather is none of this. So did everybody give their feedback? Or are we ready to-
I think everybody was going to
think-
suck on the fart.
Did
except
Blue-
for,
I don't know,
Wilektron.
did
No,
Blue say it?
I didn't, but I'm totally gonna go with the poop because armpits are gross and poop is only a quick sniff. So
Yes.
Yeah, I think Will was the only one who was sucking on the fart.
But
I
That's
think
just-
he
deep
was doing the
sniff.
armpits because
Yep.
he has not yet. Yes.
yeah, that's
Well,
on
mine
the
is
armpit.
completely not like foes, but it's still, it's a funny one. It made me laugh. But all right. Would
That's
you
nice.
rather sweat cheese and broccoli soup, or every movie you watch slowly transition into Shrek halfway through?
I'd be
gosh.
sweating that
Well-
broccoli and cheese. I love that shit. I'd be licking myself up
Horrible.
and down.
You'd be a
I do enjoy
and then you'd be
broccoli
getting
and
even
cheese.
fatter.
Give my ass a Red Bull. Let's do this.
Sourdough.
I was so torn. I'm like, I don't know. I love cheese and I love Shrek.
Yeah, I was saying if it was the first Shrek, then then it's a hard decision. If it was like Shrek 4, then it would have been easy. It's just like screw that, broccoli cheese all the way.
Yeah, like, I'm not watching
so,
Shrek 4 over and over
You're sweating it,
again.
though, like really, like you're literally sweating cheese and broccoli soup, or
Oh,
every movie
deliciousness.
you watch just slowly morphs into Shrek, no matter what. How hilarious would that be? Oh my
What?
god!
Could you imagine Titanic with
I know.
Fiona and Shrek?
And it
So-
just goes.
So is porn considered movies?
Yeah.
Every show would be a donkey show.
Well, you won't make it. You won't make it halfway through
You did not
usually,
mind this behind- Oh my lord!
unless you're watching it for the story. Then maybe.
Oh my god! So we're
Yeah,
gonna go to the
yeah,
top.
donkey.
Hey,
Come on.
Donkey! Oh my god, you're horrible. So we're gonna, instead of starting from the top, we're going to the bottom. Wilektron, what's your choice? Would you rather sweat cheese
gosh.
and broccoli soup, or have every movie you watch slowly transition into Shrek halfway through?
I'm having a hard time understanding how I would deal with the, like how would the broccoli and cheese sweat thing work? Like
Like it
does it
literally,
just
like
smell
that's what you
like
would
it, or
sweat.
is
it's coming out
broccoli
of your
falling
pores.
out of my pores?
Like the soup and cheese are coming out of your pores.
Is the actual chunks of broccoli coming out?
Yeah,
too?
that's what I was asking.
Like
The
If
worst
that's what's in the
blackhead of your
soup.
life.
Oh
If
gosh.
that's what's in the soup, that's what's coming out of your pores. choice?
I like movies too much. I would put up with the broccoli and cheese.
But you like, what about you're in a new relationship? Like, would the broccoli and cheese be okay? Could you just be
She's
like,
vegetarian.
I
it'd be
cooked
fine.
you dinner? Yay, she's vegetarian!
Oh gosh.
But what?
We have a winner. We have a winner. That's awesome.
Oh man.
I never thought that you would give that quick of a turnaround, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you right now.
If you're listening to this,
That's
well,
awesome.
sorry.
Hey, you're just being real. And if she's listening to this, she has more things to worry about, like the whole poop fiasco we were talking about previously. So
Okay.
this is nothing. This is a cakewalk.
Especially you bring up a new relationship, and so sexy time can get kind of sweaty. And
Okay,
so
let's not go there,
All
please.
right, we're moving on.
As
We're
long as
moving
she
on.
likes broccoli and
broccoli
cheese.
soup
All right,
starts.
so we're going to move on
starts
to.
flowing.
We're gonna go to Big Blue. What's your choice? Would you rather have sweet cheese, sweat cheese and broccoli soup, or every movie you watch slowly transition into?
I would carry around a backpack full of frickin' sourdough bread just so people can have samples.
Oh, you'll get to be the little granny at the Sam's Club or the Costco handing out your broccoli.
And to play off with this whole sexy time thing, I think that's more of an incentive if you're a woman like some broccoli and cheddar. I'm just saying.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right, faux render. What's your choice?
I'm getting
What
a
have
food
you
truck.
decided?
I'm getting,
You're
a,
getting
food
a food
truck,
truck?
right? And I'm slapping a treadmill in the back. And I'm just going to
Hell
run on this
yeah.
treadmill, and it's going to be called Cheese and Brock. Brooklyn's Cheese and Brock. And
You have
I'm
to
just
have
going
the name faux in there because that's the origin. Like it's
All
faux
natural
cheese
faux
and
on
brock.
this.
faux cheese and Brock.
Yeah, faux cheese and brock.
And it's just going to be me in the back running on this treadmill. And somebody just scooping it off my back, putting it into jars, into bread.
Well, instead of scooping on your back, you could just be on top of a grate, and it would just like flow down.
Ew, this is grossing me out right now. The grate, the word
exactly.
grate,
Yes,
for
I
some
like the
reason
grate
was really...
idea because
I would
have a screen. This way, it could like
great
sift
idea.
it.
Great.
I was buying it while
what
I
happens?
was talking.
Oh, that's wait.
Great,
so
I'm off.
you take the screen, right, and the screen catches the ooze off my back.
You just said ooze.
But
That's
then,
not a good commercial marketing
the
term.
fine juice could be a drink.
Your back is moist with broccoli and cheddar.
So you have the thick broccoli and cheddar that you could dip bread in, like Blue was saying, and then the finer juice that makes it through the screen would be like a drink. Would be like a Brock and cheese malt.
Okay. Oh my God.
I'm just dying.
I feel like I can't. I was really buying what you were selling. You started making all those nasty words in there.
Of course, this is what happens when we bring foe into a would you rather. But
naughty. No, not buying it at all. Shrek all the way.
So you don't want some like fine Brock and cheese juice?
No, you said oozing and grating and. I feel like you're the leads on Ark Survival Evolved. Like I gotta climb under the water and like scrape prime meat off from you. That just really grosses me out.
All I'm hearing is, what the shit?
What the shit? Exactly. I can't do this. I can't do it. No. I think I'm actually going the other way because I can't eat broccoli because I refuse to eat. My rule as I live is I do not consume anything that smells like ass. Broccoli smells like ass. I love cheese, but I hate broccoli because it smells like dookie.
But do you eat like Parmesan cheese?
Yes, but
Parmesan cheese gets a little stinky.
No, it's delicious, and it does never smell
stinky.
like. It does not smell like butt. Broccoli. Everybody knows it. Don't try to change it.
The good Parmesan cheese, the good expensive Parmesan cheese.
I'm an upper middle class white trash person. Remember, we've covered this. I don't buy high quality Parmesan cheese. I don't have to worry about Parmesan cheese that smells like somebody's rear end. I buy high quality, low quality Parmesan cheese.
See, Parmesan cheese doesn't smell like rear end to me. It smells like feet.
No, I would prefer. I'm sorry. I'm Shrek all the way. I freaking love Shrek. Donkey is my spirit animal. I would feel so at home having every movie I watch just turn into Donkey. I love Donkey. I love it.
Yeah,
I am Donkey.
So,
and I really don't want to have to do this whole, like, could you imagine? You'd slide everywhere. You go to hug someone and just, like, dripping butt juice.
Be really good at flag
form of,
football.
Like, broccoli. No. Because, I really play flag football everywhere.
But if you would like that, you'd play a lot more.
I would probably do that more because but no, I'm picking Shrek all the way. How about you, Cricket? What's your choice?
I'm going for Shrek as well.
See, thank you. We're Sagittarius. What, Blue? You were in the club. You're in the Sagittarius club, and you are not joining this.
I couldn't handle that.
You can't.
Well, guess what? While you guys are going through half a movie, then have to watch Shrek. I'm gonna be making tons of money off my cheesy back juice.
No, not with your marketing ploy, dude.
My cheesy back juice will be selling like
that. Is marketing. That's just
and
description to us.
There's really not that many people that just eat broccoli and cheddar soup.
My marketing would be faux cheesy back juice.
Faux cheesy back.
Oh my god! You are losing customers as you speak, so just zip it. Zip it. So, Cricket, what was your reasoning? Why are you joining the donkey? The donkey train.
I want
my juice is great. My juice is great because it falls through a grate.
We don't want your juicy gratiness. Nothing. Cricket, what was your reasoning?
I do like the Shrek movie, and the caveat was just that it was movies, not TV shows. So I can so I can still watch
your loophole.
I can still watch TV shows and
ding, ding, ding.
Other video content is not a movie. Like stuff that people have put up there is not movie, and it could be entertaining to see like home videos, home movies.
And we could
get
still
turned
be
into
gaming.
Shrek.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Like, you're watching your wife change her diaper on the home video, and it just turns into Shrek. That would be amazing.
Yeah, it turns into Shrek chasing.
Watch
because that one could even turn into Shrek 2, where it's Donkey, or it's Shrek chasing around the three babies that are sitting there farting and burping in his face and all that stuff, and lighting their farts and all that.
I get it.
Especially because when you get older and you retire and you move down to Florida and you're sweating just all the time, you're just gonna
exactly. I like how I didn't even think of these aspects, but it makes me happy that I chose the Shrek version. Totally. 100%.
You guys realize when our kids get older and their kids start watching Shrek, they're going to wonder what the hell our generation was on.
I don't know, because they're just going to be, they're going to be like, why didn't we watch Shrek sooner? Because our parents smell like ass.
First they're going to yank the condom out of their nose. First they're going to yank the condom out of their nose. And then they're going to,
goodness.
Pop in a Tide Pod.
Oh my god. Anyways. All right. This is Cross Realm Cast. Number 6.
Oh, is it over? What?
Yeah,
okay.
it's over.
It's in the can.
Oh gosh.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
back.
We don't want none of your broccoli and cheese. We don't want
Hot.
any of your broccoli and cheese. We don't want any of your broccoli and cheese.
I love the subtle messages going
What
on
in
there.
the heck was being played in there?
We don't want broccoli and cheddar cheese. We don't want broccoli and cheddar cheese.
You don't want
Like
faux under
back juice.
Fomundahide?
We don't want We don't want fomunda cheese.
Hey everyone, this is Esme. You should know that by now. But anyways, this is just some behind the scenes conversation that we do, while we're grouping up to record Cross Realm podcast. So I figured I'd just toss it in at the end of the show. Why not? What harm could be done? Nothing. Just a lot of extra chatter. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll see you next week. Love ya. Bye. Hey, Cricket.
Hello.
How you doing?
Doing all right.
Good.
Like a recording studio or an echo chamber or something?
Am I? I don't know. Weird.
That sounds, well, not echo chamber, but it sounds like you're in a deep cavernous room or something.
No, same place, same microphone, same everything. That's weird. Are you listening in your headphones?
Yeah, like I normally do.
Weird.
Must just be me.
Now let me look.
I gotta finish watching these long men.
What is it?
These videos that Tuxedo and Yogi posted on the NSFW channel.
Oh,
These
I haven't even seen that.
These Japanese commercials for a gummy. It's like a taffy type thing.
Are you talking about that commercial and the not safe for work thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm watching right now.
That was so disturbing. I watched that whole freaking thing.
With long man.
It's one of those things that gets annoying after a while because it just repeats the same thing over and over. And you're like,
Yeah.
come on, hurry up and finish. And then at the very end, it was kind of funny.
Yeah, exactly. Since it's obvious that it's a series of them. It's like I wonder how long it took for the payoff, like with the real commercials. Like, was it over a couple months, that they aired these things, as opposed to being able to sit here and just watch them in 6 minutes?
Very Call Me Maybe-esque.
Well, this keyboard, for some reason, my caps are always freaking on. I have no idea. I must have a crazy, pinky or ring finger that's all, addicted to freaking caps. I swear to God, it's been a day. No, so then, get this shit. So then I just magically helped fix my husband's truck because his throttle positioning sensor went out and we bought a new one. And he put one in. And then all of a sudden, he went and put it in and it wouldn't work. So he's like, what the, I just it's just a straightforward thing. Pull out the plug and play, kind of like your computer. You literally pull out the part, put the new one in, it should be fine. Well, his truck would turn over, but it wouldn't go all the way. So I just pick up my phone and I'm like, in Google, I replaced my throttle positioning sensor and now my truck won't start. And he's looking at me like I'm on crack. And then the first suggestion, I said, they say you probably should unplug it and reposition it because you probably have it positioned wrong, and then start it back up. And then he's like, I'll be damned. And this car, so I'm sitting in the truck and he's like, okay, start it back up. I'm like, dude, I gotta go, man. I got 10 minutes. Come on. So then he goes, it works. And he puts his head down. I said, yeah, we make a good team. All right, see you later. I come in here and then it's been one of those days.
And that's why you married him.
Exactly.
You make a good team.
We do make a good team. I always say I'm the brains and he's the muscle. That's what we do. When you throw us together, I figure out the puzzle part and he just charges through and gets shit done. So we do make a good team.
That's what's up.
So it's job security. That's what that. Job security. So crazy. Then all of a sudden I told my kids, I'm like, listen here. Daddy's out working on his truck. Mommy's going to be podcasted. Your butts are supposed to be done in bed an hour ago. Don't play with me. So then I hear my son on the baby monitor because I still I have monitors I bring downstairs so I can hear what's going on upstairs.
No, that's legit.
Yeah, shit, man. I brought down a coffee and a wine because I didn't know what I wanted to drink. I'm starting to lean towards the wine.
I would be hitting the wine. I'm just saying.
Well, I already had 2 bottles of cider tonight.
Oh, did you? Okay, so we got to catch up to you.
Well, I mean, it was 2 bottles over 2 hours, so it's not like it's, that bad.
You're stretching again, dude. You're already stretching.
I am.
You don't need to make an excuse for it. It's cool.
I know. I can just totally hear him go. It's like it was like 2 hours ago.
Well, it was. So I worked. I went into work. Got into work at like 7. Worked till 5:15, and then left. Got home. Stopped off at the house for took a dump, and then had to turn around and go right out to dinner because I was meeting my coworker and some friends and some of his friends for shrimp night.
Oh, okay.
And so got out there at 6:30, and then just got home from there. So I literally, really just got home from leaving at 7 o'clock this morning.
Alrighty, cool.
So.
All right, looks like Wilektron's here. I can pull him down.
All right.
Hello, Wilektron.
Hey.
So here we go. I'm going to try the Peep Oreos.
Can you send me one over the mic? I need one.
That's what we need to do. Buy weird food and have to try it.
Peep filling isn't so much like Peeps as much as it is like Lucky Charms marshmallows.
Interesting.
Didn't quite get it right then.
Yeah, I think I would.
Wait, do they taste different if they're purple versus if they're yellow though? Because that might be different too.
No, because it's purple filling, so it actually kind of tastes like purple horseshoes.
Purple horseshoe.
Well, that's why I was wondering if the
Lucky
purple
Charms.
Peeps taste different from the yellow Peeps, because I've only really had yellow Peeps, I think.
I don't think they have different flavorings for them.
Okay, I didn't
They
think so
all
either.
just
It
taste
seems
like
just like
marshmallow.
yeah, it tastes like food coloring and sugar.
Yeah, so I was gonna say there's have you guys ever heard of Shipshawana, the little Amish town in Indiana?
Nope.
Didn't think so. I thought I'd throw it out there, I guarantee you that Luminen and probably Goon have because they're on my side of the country.
And also, he's Amish.
That too. But they have this store there called the bulk food store, and like you can just go in and get a huge bag of just the marshmallows that's in the Lucky Charms cereal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like a 2 foot long, like it's 2 foot high, and probably like the size of a half a basketball, or probably like a 3/4 of a basketball around, like maybe 6 or 7 inches wide. It's a really big, long bag of just marshmallows.
Well, so in Washington, D.C., at the National Harbor, in the Gaylord Center, they have the Peeps and Company store. It's a store that is just, it's not just Peeps, I don't think, but it might just be Peeps. Let's see, here in the shop. Imagine stepping inside and seeing a glowing 5-foot Peeps chick surrounded by cuddly plush Peeps, creating your favorite blend of Mike and Ike candies and discovering just exactly what type of hot tamales hottie you are.
Hot tamales hot you are. That's
so
interesting.
Peeps.
I'm almost home. I'm like 10 minutes away.
I figured we knew you're almost home, but we just wanted to let you know that we're ready to rock and roll when you are.
Yeah,
Take your time.
10 minutes. I'm 10 minutes away. I had to switch. The train stopped, and I had to jump off onto a bus.
Oh,
so I'm waiting. And
Yay, train troubles.
And literally, I'm 10 minutes from my house, but it's like it would take me a half hour to walk from here. But it's like
Isn't that crazy?
I gotta wait for this bus to come.
That works.
Kind of sucks.
Yeah, I've never even had to go on a train for transportation, so you guys are way ahead of me on that. Way ahead. I would look at everyone like they're going to murder me. That's how I would look at it.
Yeah, I used to commute by.
I feel like everybody's a bad person.
Nobody would even be paying attention to you. Everyone's like looking at their phone or.
Well, and in the morning, everybody was sleeping.
I feel like everybody around here, it's so weird. You know, like you don't ever see anybody walking. The only people walking look like meth zombies around here. Everybody has a like it's so different because you know, we have to everything's so spread out. So when you see someone walking, you're like, oh, stay. You switch to the other side of the road. Like that person might shank me.
What's this dirtbag doing? Walking like, what's this dirtbag doing?
That's exactly what it is. We barely ever see people walking.
It's like, who doesn't have a car over here? Like,
it's so weird.
There's the trouble.
But you guys, it's so different. Our lifestyles in our towns and cities.
Well,
and
it's
stuff.
funny. It's like crazy because, you know, when I go to work in the city, it's actually more convenient to take public transportation.
Absolutely, because you don't have to screw around and try to find a parking spot. Right?
That's the whole thing. When you get to Manhattan, first of all, traffic, rush hour traffic in the morning is a bitch. And then I just got on my bus. And then you got there's nowhere to park.
Right.
So that's another thing. It's it's a little bit of thing there.
The only time we have to worry about parking is during like festivals and stuff. You know, they
when there's something big going
stuff
on.
Like that. Other than that, it's no big deal.
Well,
for
me, it wasn't. It was more that I wanted to travel a long distance without having to drive it, because I wasn't doing like the like metro type thing. I was taking.
Yeah, you were traveling.
It was a commuter train, but I was getting on it and I was traveling on the train for an hour.
Oh, okay.
I was going.
To go where? Work?
Yeah, to go down to work. So I was going from northeastern Maryland down to down past Baltimore, between Baltimore and Washington. So it was like 50 miles on the train.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
So I mean, I definitely slept. In the morning, I'd sit there and set an alarm because that was an extra like 45 minutes of sleep that I would get in the morning.
My train ride takes an hour.
Does it?
Well, that's because
it's just that many stops.
Exactly. Like yours is like 1 or 2 stops with very long distances. Stopping every 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was about from Perryville, where I was getting on most of the time, or Aberdeen, which was the next stop. There was like 6 or 7 stops total.
How much was the train ticket?
With a commuter, it was like $130 for the month.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it wasn't bad at all. And actually, no, maybe.
Yeah.
No, it was 200. 200. I think it was 230. But I didn't have to pay all that because I was a government employee. So they actually had, tried to encourage mass transit. So I would get like $150 or something from the government to buy,
cool.
to help buy my tickets.
That's cool.
So
I hate taking buses. I hate buses.
So it was like, it's kind of a no-brainer. Like $75 for a train ticket. It's like I go through $75 a week if I drive.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Trains are really common for our area to like go to Chicago. Like they'll just hop on a train, and because we're not too far from Chicago.
Yeah, I wish I was a train ride away from Chicago.
Yeah, it's like we could just go hop on a train. Boop.
You could be a train ride away from Chicago. It's just a long train ride.
It's a long train ride.
Kind of like when I'm just a train ride away from Philly. It's just a 10-hour ride.
Oh gosh.
Oh my goodness.
I might go to
just a 10-hour drive.
I might actually go to whatchamacallit, Gen Con, and I was actually thinking about taking a train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's actually almost a 10-hour drive to Philly too.
Yeah. I think Gen Con is a 12-hour drive from where I am.
That's it might even be longer because when I went from Baltimore area to Gen Con, it was like a 12-hour drive. Or maybe,
really?
No, I think it was about 10 from Baltimore. I think it was 12 for me because when I went a few years back, it was me and 5 other friends, and we were taking my car because I had the larger car, and I had a tow hitch that I got one of the like container things that I could put on my tow hitch.
Yeah.
And so I could drive. I could bring all of us in one vehicle, and also
plane ride is only like an hour.
I swear to God, in my head you said tow hitch. I literally thought of your toe. Like I was like a toe with a little. And I was like, that can't be right. I'm like, I'm a weirdo. Sorry.
And then also, since I was the furthest away, I drove from my house and I went down and they wanted me to like. At first, they're like, "Yeah, can you go over here and pick up this person? Go over here and pick up this person. Go over here, pick up this." I'm like, "I'm not driving to every one of your fucking houses and picking you all up." I'm like, "I will, I'll pick up Dave because he's 30 minutes from me on the way to you to the rest of you, but you guys can all meet at one person's place. I'm not going to drive to 5 houses to pick you all up. Especially since I have an hour drive to get down there to start with. So they did all meet at one person's house, and so I got us all. Then we kind of took turns driving. It was going down there. It was me and the one other guy. Like originally they had planned, the one guy who was like, well, we want to make sure everybody has equal driving. So if all of us do, like 2 hours and 37 minutes of driving,
2 hours and 37
or something like that. But so I started off the drive, and then my one buddy was like, I'll drive now. I'm like, okay, fine, you drive. So he drove for like 7 hours, or at that point, and then I drove the rest of the way in. So then when I was coming back, I told the people who didn't drive. One of them was the guy who was the 2 hours and 37 minutes. I'm like, I don't care how you guys do it, but I'm not driving home. I was like, I drove about a third of the way there, and you guys didn't drive at all. So you guys all figure out who's driving. So that they drove home, especially because I was like, because even after we get back home, I just have another hour drive, regardless of everything else, because I have to get myself home.
Yeah.
Heck, man, I was surprised. I was like, dude even got his, like you said, you even got your show notes in. You even got links. What is that? That's craziness.
That's nuts.
Hey, I put in links. A link.
So this is interesting. My when the Fiomia.
Hey, one second, real quick, Cricket.
The Fiomia house thing.
Yeah, go ahead, Blue.
If I disconnect, my wife's doing something on the router, so I'll try and be back as soon as I can.
No problem.
But so when the Fiomia house got destroyed with the command, the Fiomias are just gone. The Dodo hut, however, the Dodos are here, but they're all knocked unconscious.
From what? From what command?
When I ran the destroy structures. So they
left
were
all of your animals either disappeared or knocked out?
No, well, so there's the Fiomia hut where you can put the 2 Fiomias inside. And then there's the Dodo, and then there's the Dodo hut that you can put 4 Dodos inside, and then they lay eggs. So when the Dodo hut structure got destroyed, the Dodos popped out, but they're all unconscious. I don't know that I can even wake them up because they don't have any torpor, but they're unconscious. So
just pixel block them, and when you throw them back down, they're fine.
I guess that's true.
So is pixel blocking like a Pokeball almost?
It's exactly. Yeah. It's almost exactly like a Pokeball, except they can't
die.
But it weighs a lot.
Yeah, and also so they don't anything that they had in their inventory drops in a bag.
Oh, okay. So
but
I didn't even mess with that yet.
But it's cool if like you tame something far from your base, you could like get it home.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing, like, because I've been using my gargoyle, and he has like 800 weight, so it's like, I can just pick, Pokeball the thing and put on my gargoyle and carry it with me, and so I can actually pick things up. So yeah, it's coming in handy.
I'm gonna Pokeball a Quetzal and put it in another Quetzal, and then Pokeball that and put it in my pocket.
Except it won't.
It's like one of those little Russian dolls.
I found the perfect freaking would you rather.
Oh gosh.
So no, it's not horrible. I'm kidding. It's not bad. It's more funny than anything. Just like
I hope yours was horrible.
Funny.
No, it's not horrible. I know. Like I'm just keeping it. It's still funny. It's so. Funny.
Oh, you guys are jumping in the wood on the would you rather? All right.
Yeah, your face is more funny.
This one is so funny. This one is funny. I did find the one I was gonna use because it's funny. We did so many of them last year that if you even like search the internet, you can go, okay, we've done almost all these horrendous ones. Horrendous.
So
this one's not bad, Wilektron.
So way back,
it's funny.
Like probably 20 years ago, a game came out. It was from I want to say it was the makers of Cranial. It was called Zabmondo. I think they rebranded a couple years later to be called Would You Rather, but that's essentially what it was.
Zabmondo.
Yeah, because it was basically it was a very simple game. There was a series of cards, and on each card it had color, kind of like Trivial Pursuit. And then you had a little bag that had 5 or 6 colored stones. There was like a green, a blue, a yellow, and so you would reach in the bag and you would pull out the stone, and whatever color it was, that's the would you rather that you had to do.
That's interesting.
And so what it would be is you would get the card and you would look, and they had categories kind of like Trivial Pursuit. So it was like green was like edibles, and pink was whatever. But you would have to read the question yourself. To yourself, and then you'd have to kind of guess what everybody else would say, and then you would read it, and then they would say, A or B, and however many you guessed right, you got points for.
Oh, okay.
So it was neat because it was kind of it was be interactive like that because you were trying to guess each other's.
That would be funny to do like an entire episode of just Would You Rather.
Yeah, so let me just see if I have it downstairs real quick. Be right back.
Oh no! Oh, it's a no! Oh no! It's gonna get very Would You Rather-y. I was looking through the new releases on Steam. It's pretty neat. It does say Pixar is in the top sellers this month. Far Cry 5, Skyrim VR, Vermintide, and Pixar.
The stupid now, and of course the bus is just gonna be like, no what? I'm gonna skip your stop. How's that?
Did it really skip you?
Yeah. So now it dropped me off. It dropped me off on the next stop.
Oh god.
Which is
far away is that?
No, it's like a 1 block difference. Not a big deal.
But still, it's the idea, right?
It's still it's
so ridiculous.
It's an extra 2 minutes on my walk now.
Ridiculous. It's one of those days because you guys weren't here when I was telling all my crazy stupidness. It was like, and I looked to the left of me. I did not know that my husband got his new deer mountain. I knew he got it back from his buddy, but he set it right on my freaking computer desk area. So in essence, it's the bar that I made into my computer desk. I'll have to just show a picture of it. But so I have a dead deer staring at me while I'm podcasting right now.
It scared the piss out of you, didn't it?
Yeah, I was walked down and I'm like, what the fuck? I have half of a deer body right next to my computer. So I feel very upper middle class white trash, like that country song. We're upper middle class white trash. Have you guys heard that, or am I just
now?
Never heard.
It would have been just a little worse. If when you went to the bathroom, there was like a transmission soaking in like the bathtub.
That is not too different. Like that is a very. Oh no, I had okay.
It's a possibility. It can happen.
It's a possibility, dude, because I had just did spring cleaning in the kitchen, right? And I was so happy because my husband is taller than me, so he could just shove shit on the top of, like where you have like your cupboards in your kitchen. There's like that little space where some people like can put like lighting or like knickknacks or whatever.
Yeah.
That dude would put anything that he did not have a place, and he would shove it up there. And I couldn't get to it. My step stool wouldn't reach. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And I was like, dude. So one day I'm like, after you nag, I'm like, dude, get the fucking shit off my cupboards now. Now! Like, I am not cooking anymore until I'm going on strike. Get that shit off there. So he like there's some weird shit up there. There was like fishing lures he had hidden up there. There was a light fixture. He was gonna put this track lighting thing up there to like with this white light. Never happened. That was up there. I couldn't find my George Foreman grill forever. That was up there. My chili pot was up there. He would just put random stuff up there. And I was wondering, why is all my stuff coming up missing? There was a big ass thing of aluminum foil that we needed over the summer because we were grilling.
Stick it up on the top of the fridge or something?
No, shoving it up out of sight, up above like my cupboards.
Oh gosh.
The top of the cupboards.
Oh gosh. Why?
Up there because he's being a snot. He knows I can't get it.
Who is this, Mossy?
He's being a dude is what he's doing.
He's being a dude, exactly, total dude. So I've been for an entire week now. I feel like every time I walk in my kitchen and now it's nice and clean again, I'm like, oh, I can hear harps until last night. I walked in, there's a freaking car part up there. He's stuck because he's working on his truck now. And his throttle positioning sensor, the thing I was bitching about earlier, Cricket and Blue, he stuck that up there with his shop rags and that like go-go cleaner or whatever. I'm like, and it stinks. It smells bad. It smells like car parts, And I'm like, get this out of my kitchen. Like, why is this up here? I was just like, no. It lasted for a week, but luckily, I said, why? Why is this up here? Like, why?
Above my cupboards, we have about 40 packs of paper towels.
There you go.
But that's practical.
Yeah, you need
That's not a car part.
It's not a car part.
Right.
It's not a throttle position.
Gosh.
Because there's no like, where do you put when you buy paper towels in bulk? Where do you put it? There's like
I throw them in my garage, but you might not have that option.
The same as when you buy toilet paper in bulk.
Don't have that option here.
When you buy toilet paper in bulk.
Toilet paper in bulk. I have one of those old-fashioned hampers that are in the wall, built inside the wall. So that's filled with toilet paper.
I make a toilet
That's
paper
what's up.
tower in the corner of my bathroom. Like, people come over, and it's like a goal of mine to see how high I can make this tower in the corner. Because, you know, like, you have those little cutesy toilet paper racks that you can, like, stack, like, 5 rolls in. I do, like, 25 rolls, but I just make it climb my wall. So...
the habit's filled with toilet paper and
That's handy. I wish I had
and under the sink is wet wipes.
Yeah. We had to stick our garbage under there. You know what? Also, man, if you have like a ranch style house, the freaking bathrooms are always so like narrow. It always irritates me that they're so narrow. I'm like, why can't bathrooms be a nice square if you have a ranch?
I don't even have a ranch style house, and my bathrooms are narrow.
I'm just like, God, it just seemed like that seemed to be the common denominator for me, but it's good to know then that it's not just that style.
It's a modern style.
So annoying. You got like kids and I'm the one that has to share my bathroom with the kids because Mossy has this little man cave off our bedroom, which is bad because, you know, you walk in the bathroom and you're like, you get blown up. You're like, what the hell died in here? And it was his ass. So... like, maybe I should have that bathroom.
Hold on.
His ass died.
I get Dutch oven by his damn dog, and then he Dutch ovens everyone in the bathroom. It's like double Dutch ovens. Oh, it's horrible. All these things, Wilektron, that you have yet to experience. You just wait. How's the romance going?
It's going pretty well.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I got to spend Easter with her and her parents, so.
Oh wow, was that your first? No, you knew her though. In college,
getting cereal.
Well, I hadn't actually met her parents back in college or anything like that. But I had met them briefly before. But this was the first time, like, you know, sitting down, talking, getting to know them a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
I bet
it was
you were
good.
shitting
Brown
bricks.
cow.
I was real nervous going up to it, and then you know it was great. So
that's cool. Are they nice?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Good.
Yeah,
Nothing
I think.
sucks more than
I mean, you know,
nice.
a little early to say, but I think we'll get along okay.
Awesome. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I like when you get really nervous meeting people, and then they're just as redneck-ish as you.
I know. Thank you. That's how I hear you. In general, that's how I felt about our neighbors last summer because this older couple moved out, and then entered these new people. So then we automatically start looking. What are they driving? What are they driving? You know, like that'll tell us everything. They ended up being worse. They ended up having like double the kids, and they ended up like that's the picture of the pig. I don't know if you guys see me sharing this picture of a pig.
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
always in our yard.
I love that pig.
That's my freaking neighbor's pig. Okay, get this. Sunday. So they have a bulldog, 2 bulldogs, 1 bulldog puppy named Luna, absolute precious darling, and then Hammy the pig, and then their little jack-wagoned bulldog. It's the older dog. What do they named him? It's like, I can't ever remember his name. I just yell at him to get lost because he's mean. He's the mean one. Well, they all run in a pack. Well, have you guys got this notification for like this new app for like neighborhoods? It's called like Nextdoor app or whatever.
Yes.
Don't
we
join that shit, man. Don't join it. It's not.
Why?
No, join it, but lie. Well, because first off, now this is a side rail, but hey, whatever. If you join this app, you have to put in your real name and your real address. So one, do you really want everybody you live around knowing how many people, like who lives in what house and all this stuff? No, don't really want that. So, but secondly, it's okay if you want to see the gossip that's going on. Well, my mom sent me this link, and she's like, join nextdoor.com, and I got like a post-it. It's like some weird thing they're pushing to everybody. Did you get like a post-it in the mail, like a little postcard?
Okay.
No.
Guess what?
What?
Was another awesome bonus
What?
is my son is giving my wife a ride to work, and all the boys went. So I have an empty house for the next hour.
Hey, so I have an
How
empty
did
house
that
tonight
happen?
too.
Cause,
How did
like I
that
was saying,
happen?
these boys they're getting along way too good lately, and
That's
they wanted
really
to just
cool.
they wanted to just hang out for the car ride all together.
They're
Don't-
doing something behind you guys' backs that they don't want you to know about.
They have plans.
Hey, when they're good together, they're partying together. I'm just saying.
My
And that's
little-
not necessarily a bad thing.
My little guy's with them too.
Oh, okay then. So yeah. I don't know. Have we ever seen that? Wasn't that like the Babysitter's Dead movie way back in the 80s?
Don't tell Mom and
Don't tell
Don't
Mom
tell Mom the
Babysitter's
Babysitter's Dead. Yeah.
The dishes are done, man.
Yeah.
I thought the dishes are done, dude.
Oh, dude, the
At
dishes
least
are
that-
done, dude.
At least that's the way that we quote it even to this day. The dishes are done, dude.
Dude. So anyways,
Yeah, 'cause-
fast forward, Sunday morning entered. There we hear cops. Somebody finally turned in my neighbors for having their dogs run amok. The pig was safe because they finally put him in a cage because I told them people were talking smack about them on that stupid Nextdoor that app, and they were like, "There's a pig on blah 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 road and it runs with its pack of dogs." And there were like 3 or 4 families complaining about little Hammy. So I told my neighbors, I was like, "Dude, there's an app out there. You guys are getting blown out the water about your pig. You got to get that stuff on lockdown." So he was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, get over there." So like we've almost joined forces with our new recommendation. They're like, it was like, do you don't want to turn in your neighbor because you know that you're like the first one. They're gonna be like, it's them, you know. So we're like, we're just gonna join forces with them. So it's worked out really well. We give him eggs from our chickens, and he plowed our freaking driveway out with his 4-wheeler all winter. We would just trade them for eggs, and so we made good friends with our fellow redneck neighbors.
You give them eggs and they give you
We
bacon.
give them eggs
Oh wait, it
and they
doesn't work that way. Damn
Plowed
it.
our. What did you say? What did you say?
Did you
I'll
give
be
them
sad
egg?
when Hammy turns into bacon.
I
I like
know.
seeing those pictures.
I know. He might break out. He loves me too because I feed him, so he hates Mossy. Hates him. But he hears me and I go, "Come here, little Hammy," and I like give him canned corn and stuff and bagels and whatever I want to give him. He eats it. It's
You should give them
about
that glass corn or whatever that.
No, that was some pretty corn Lumen shared, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was too good to eat. Looked too good to eat. So yeah, on Easter morning, they get fined. Some woman said that their dogs had her trapped on the road and were circling her for 15 minutes, and they were pit bulls. They're freaking...
Yeah, right.
Luna is a lover, not a fighter. The other dog, a little sketchy, but my dragon voice from across the road, because I warned them when they moved in, I'm like... You know, I'm sorry, you'll hear me yell at my dogs, and I will probably be yelling at yours because I don't want them up in my business. So, like, I can control my neighbor's dog by leashing my dragon voice because he, like, was charging my husband and kids in our yard, and I said, you know, my mama bear flipped in, and I was like, and he, like, stopped in his tracks and ran backwards. I'm like, that's right. That's right. So I'm like, this woman is a bull-faced liar. That dog would not keep them trapped. And what dogs? And what? 15 minutes is a long ass time. Are you kidding me? Like, what are you just doing there, filing your nails while a dog's circling around you, counting the minutes go by? No, it was a lie.
As I'm saying, that's the dogs were trained to be guard dogs. And yet
Luna,
they won't. They wouldn't act that way.
She's just a little puppy. She just does that little puppy wags her tail, rolls over, wants you to pet her belly. Like, she's a love. And that other dog, if I can yell from my deck across the road and scare the shit out of him, he ain't gonna be circling no chick for 15 minutes. And she said they were pit bulls. So anyways, we find out on Easter morning that apparently, because we live right on the line of like 3 counties, so all 3 county cops came, locked down both sides of our end of our road, and then went and with animal control and like all these sheriff cars. Here, my family is oblivious. I'm flipping pancakes. We're finding eggs. We don't give a shit what's going outside of our house. We don't know that the whole road is on lockdown and there's some rabid supposed pit bulls trapping women. we find out all of the stuff later. Like the neighbor comes over and was like filling in my husband about all the craziness, and we're like, what? We had no clue that any of this was going on. That was funny. So yeah, that was Easter for us.
Damn.
Crazy stuff.
God damn.
Yeah.
All right.
But,
Everybody here?
Everybody ready?
Everybody, yeah.
I think
What
it's
do you mean
just
by ready?
Fo already had his
Everybody
toe.
get your roll on.
Did you go take the kids to the pool? Did you?
I did that earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go put the tea on real quick. Give me 1 second.
Oh,
I'm ready
put
though.
your tea on. Okay. Who is reading the show?
I will read if nobody else wants to.
All right, we will get started once I find the intro. Damn it, I wish this thing would let me totally organize it, but it won't, so I never know where anything is at. Oh, here it is.